Doug Walker. You're watching The Crazy House, Crazy McCormick.
That's the wrong one. What up, y'all? Crazy McCormick here. Hold on a second. Had to change the channel. That's still the wrong channel. Even better. Welcome to the Crazy House, ladies and germs. Hope everybody had a wonderful, lovely week. It's been awesome for me. Usually, just like normal, it's a slow build, and then once it starts getting towards the weekend, so much better. We are currently 12 days away from Hallowicked 2025, and I cannot fucking wait. Bro, it's going to be a hell of a doozy. Already seen the chat is getting up there. We got Bizarre17, Illegal, Don Chaos. Welcome, y'all. Illegal, this cannot be the first time that you have ever heard my fucking intro. But yeah, what you gonna do, brother? Definitely that kind of fucking intro shit going on. I can't help the pose. I'm a fucking Hulkamaniac. But, you know, at the same time, NWO for life. And I decided I'm gonna wear the green fit today because the red fit I've been wearing that all week long. Oh shit, I'm dropping my shit. But we should have some pretty interesting news going on for this week. Woo. Okay, I'm a little out of breath because like at the last second, no, it's not Hulk's music, but I mean I did at one point when Hulk Hogan passed away, I did bring that up on the show, and I was supposed to fucking play Hulkamaniac by Green Jello, and I missed the opportunity. But you know, whatever. You can't erase the past. Man, I gotta say, man, there's like so much shit that fucking happens over the week that it's so hard to keep up. Juggalo news, on the other hand, is very easy to fucking get with. It's a lot easier just to deal with the Juggalo news than it is to fucking deal with what's going on IRL. Because, like, seriously, every day is a new adventure in the world of fucking politics. Now, this is something that I wanted to bring up too because like I saw somebody on Facebook earlier today. I think it was actually Johnny P that said the best way to fucking not deal with politics is to not pay attention to it. And the first thing that I thought was, I know he's not fucking joking. You know, like I know Johnny P is supposed to basically be somewhat of a joking character, but I saw that and I was like, yeah, ostrich syndrome, that fucking works wonders, you know? And to be totally honest, Illy Gal, I wish that I could go live more, but I mean, I do, just not on this channel. I do on Twitch, which should make sense because, well, not only am I focusing on, hold on a second, I had to grab a little thing here, because for a while I've been focusing a lot on Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, on my PlayStation 5, and that's basically what I've been playing, but had a little last minute change because last week I was talking about Pokemon Legends ZA for the Switch and Switch 2, which I went out, I ended up getting the pre-order for that, and then it turns out that there was actually supposed to be a midnight release at uh fucking GameStop, but not at the GameStop that I pre-ordered the game at. So I had to go to a different video game store, and at first I thought I was gonna fucking miss out, but I made it just in time and I got my fucking copy. I had to pay for this copy in full, and then I had to get the money for the pre-order from the other store back, which I did. And so now I'm playing Pokemon ZA, but because of the way that things are going with Grubhub and stuff, that's my sole focus. And even sometimes, I get a little bit overburned, and so like I just some days I don't even fucking game. It's gotten to that point in my life because I can recall times where I'd stay up for 72 hours solid and playing fucking Armored Core with my friends when it was out on PlayStation 2. Now it's like, okay, I'll do this show. Sometimes I run a little bit more than I need to, and then when I have to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning to take my son to school, I'm dead to the world and I'm fucking running on E. Like just on fucking fumes. But so far I have to say this. Pokemon Legends ZA is a very fun game, and I love the fact that it is so much different than the games of yesteryear. Because with a lot of the other Pokemon games, it was basically like, okay, it was very turn-based, one-on-one ish kind of Pokemon shit. This, on the other hand, it's very much more action-based. Um, and it's almost as linear. But now I'm at a point in the game where you can do like a ton of fucking side missions. There's a certain amount of time that it takes before it goes from day into night. There's differences of what you can do during the nighttime than you can during the day. I'm happy with that because at least that way it's not like, okay, it's based off of the actual time, kind of like what they did with Pokemon Silver, and then they brought that back for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. But this one, it's like, okay, you've got every half hour it switches from daytime to nighttime, and then when nighttime comes, you can start battling motherfuckers in a random spot in the fucking map. It's interesting to say the least. So it always keeps you busy. But enough about that. Let's go ahead. We're going to talk about some fucking news. We've got a little bit of news that we've got to talk about in the Juggalo world. Uh, Courtesy of the homie fucking Cali Green Too Fresh, who's been dominating it over on Figo Lover's website. He's just been dropping news left and right. So now I got to rip off from him. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it, fam. And it's been years since you've been to a GameStop. I don't go very often, but when I do, I leave with something fresh. All right, so let's talk about some of these things. First and foremost, Monstar Entertainment is coming out with a Monstar Christmas. And on top of that, it's also a toy drive for the less fortunate. Now, for the motherfuckers that live in NorCal that are talking about, I thought Juggalo was nothing about being nothing but scrubbing it and stuff like that. This is one of those things that you really can't fucking just be like, oh, I'm a scrub, so blah blah blah. Um, Insane Clown Posse and a lot of other people that have been in or around Psychopathic Records has done multiple fucking toy drives, food drives, and shit like that. I'm pretty sure you guys remember back in the day. I think it was during the fucking um, not the Bizarre Bazaar tour, but the Wicked Clowns from Outer Space tour. I believe that they had a thing for that where it's like at certain things you I think it was like for Hallowicked that year or maybe during that tour. They were doing canned food drives, but they said that you had to fucking get the good attackable foods. Like fucking canned pasta and shit like that. None of that creamed rice bullshit that nobody eats. The good shit. You bring in 5 of them boys and you'd get something dope. Something like that. A little incentive to be able to to fucking donate like 5 to 10 cans of some shit. You know what I'm saying? Monstar Christmas with Monstar Entertainment is basically doing something similar to that. $20 entry, and I believe it says here it's a toy. You can donate a toy or something like that. It says limited tickets available. So I don't know how big Taylor's is in Holly, Michigan, but what I am assuming, I would assume, and just don't quote me on this one because I didn't read the fucking article from Fago Lovers. I read the headline. I went the liberal route and I read the headline and just assumed as much with the rest of this shit. It could be like, okay, you got to have a $20, and you got to donate a toy, or according to that ticket, that little red fucking circle right here, that's what it looks like it's saying. But what I'm thinking is that like it's probably $20 to get in, but I would say donate a toy that is of equal value. It could be a fucking, I don't know. Nobody plays with Bratz dolls anymore. Not to mention, this world's so fucked up. It's like the ghoulish shit is actually the cool stuff. So donate a Monster High doll, because that's definitely something my daughter got into when she was a kid. Because, fuck Barbie and fuck Bratz. Uh, Monster High was where it was at. So this event's going down on the 19th of December, and it's to celebrate both Lights and Nitty's birthdays, which, by the way, Nitty and I share a birthday. We're just 4 years apart in age. We were both born on December 23rd. December 23rd is the night of Nitty and Crazy McCormick. God damn it. So, featuring performances, and this actually makes me want to fucking go. Not just Light, Project Born, Schizo. All right, but then you also got Corey Farmer, who I've heard of the name. I don't know anything about it. Meat Hammer, that I've seen twice now, I think. And Meat Hammer is actually a pretty dope fucking band. Siamese Goat God, which is fucking Cartoon Bondurant and Enoch Ex Mortis. Both of those guys, very, very nice, teeny dudes. You know, very, very kind, though. Loving and all of that stuff. So, definitely got to give a shout out to Enoch and Cartoon. Midwest Syndicate and Histio. So this is going to be done at Taylor's Tavern. Doors open up at 6 o'clock. It's in Holly, Michigan. You can get, I'm sure that you could possibly get more information on Monstar Entertainment and their website, monstarent.com. And it looks like it's also got a little Toys for Tots thing over here on the side. So that's going to be dope. Let's see. Don Chaos says that his girlfriend is going to be performing a Christmas benefit show in November. That's fucking dope. See, like, this is one of those things where it's like, okay, look, I'm from fucking Michigan. I'm going to try to fucking hit this up. I want to put out more love and support to Light and Monstar Entertainment, and especially some of these other cats that they've been putting out there. Got to give love to Project Born. Got to give love to Schizo. Got to give love to Siamese Goat God. Meat Hammer is a fucking dope band. Check them out whenever you get the chance. All right. Don't know what that was. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. This was the next piece of news. Wacko the Kid has a album coming out, project album. Don't remember. They didn't say exactly what date it was. All that was said on Figure Lovers is that it is coming soon. Wacko the Kid in Airheads We Trust. And on the back of it, we have the track title that you just saw. And it looks like every fucking track just has to have a fucking feature on it. Which is interesting as hell to me. But if you notice at the bottom right, the Airheads logo. Let's see.
Yeah, you're trying to attack me, which is...
Nope, not that one. I don't know what the fuck that was. Oh yeah, that was something involving fucking that was something involving fucking what's his face? Ah, hell. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, that was an old Charlie Kirk video that I forgot to get rid of. Anyway, yeah, so here's the track listing, and I don't know anything at all except for what you see here. What you see here is what you got. So first and foremost, Back and Forth featuring Rio to Young OG. Stop me if you've heard some of these names. Bury a Body featuring Ouija Mac. What's That featuring Baby Kia. Bloodbath featuring Violent J of Insane Clown Posse. Bangers. Let's see. Yeah, we'll get into that later, Heil. Let's see. The fucking shit just happened. Okay, for some reason my shit just like glitched out on me. So, by the way, I am late getting into the show, and part of that is due to the fact that I had downed internet. Anyways, yeah, so let's continue doing what we're doing. How many times featuring Darez Deschamps? Fake Love featuring Doobie. Cherry Cola featuring RMC Mike. Going Crazy featuring Pee Wee Longway. Back It Up featuring Soulja Boy and Icewear Vezo. I wonder if he also ended up getting one of those Soulja consoles for part of the deal, because I know that Soulja Boy is desperately trying to get rid of a bunch of those. It was basically like a fucking it was basically like a shitty console that was like preloaded with a bunch of games. He like bought a bunch of them in bulk from China, and when people found out about it, it was like bullshit. So he fucking so like nobody fucking bought it, and he was like desperate to try to get them out of his fucking warehouse. Timu Game Boy ass. All right, so continuing along, this one, these last two seem to be in of peak interest for me. Death Wish featuring Chris Calico, it's Cali baby, aha, and Shaggy Two Dope of Insane Clown Posse. Just in case you didn't know where Shaggy Two Dope or Violent J came from, you know, just to be like, just in case, because who else out there in the rap game is named Violent J? Who else in the rap game out there is named Two Dope? Nobody I know. And to wrap it up, Out of My Mind featuring Lazy Bone. Wait. Isn't Lazy Bone in a group? What group is Lazy Bone in? Why is it? Oh, it's just featuring Lazy Bone. Shouldn't it say Lazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony? Just in case somebody doesn't know. It might be confusing if it was Crazy Bone and I'm the one that's fucking reading it. You know what I'm saying? Crazy meets crazy. So yeah, there is that shit. And fucking look, I know that he's made his bank fucking selling those Airhead joints at some of the big shows and shit, which I'm surprised that he's been able to get away with it. Ain't hating on the game, but I am fucking saying I think that's this is gonna be interesting, and I'll be looking forward to checking that shit out. Now, something else that motherfuckers are gonna need to check out though is Shade Hecka came out with another fucking song. This is basically for a new project, and I totally forgot exactly what the name of the track is, so I'm gonna have to go back. Okay. So the name of the track that Shade has dropped, our homie, the Prince of Horrorcore, self-proclaimed, but I allow it. Anyways, he's got his new single for the Gatekeeper album that he's working on right now called Fuck with a Juggalo. It is out right now, currently on Spotify, Apple, and iTunes. I had to look up his DistroKid just to make sure. And I don't have a fucking sample or anything like that. Maybe I do. Maybe I can, I'll fuck with it. Yep. Okay, so it's got a little preview, and we'll listen to it right now. Holy shit, boy, I'm geeking. I had got rated, I was down and out. I had let Shade go, but now I'm back now. Yeah, now I'm getting pissed, making this game my bitch, and I'm blowing his back out. Like, pull up to the gathering, fuck all your blabbering. All of my juggalos got your blood splattering. There you go, there's your sample. So yeah, that I believe that should be coming out soon if it has not already. Let's read what it says on Figure Lovers. The Prince of Horrorcore, Shade Hecka, is officially kicking open the doors to his next major project, Gatekeeper. Which, by the way, you take a look at it, that ain't a P, fam. Dude, your Chat GPT really fucked up the spelling to Gatekeeper. I love you. I love you. I love you, brother. But yeah, Chat GPT obviously fucked up that fucking spelling. Dope picture though, I do fuck with it. His brand new single, Fuck with a Juggalo, which serves as the album's first taste, is available now. Following his prolific year with releases like Juggalo Excellence and The Forgotten Number 2, this track is a savage declaration that sets a dark, aggressive tone for the full Gatekeeper experience. No official track list or release date has been dropped yet, but you already know we here at Fago Lovers will keep you posted with all the Wicked Freshness details as they come to surface. Until then, make sure to check out Fuck with the Juggalo, available now on all streaming platforms. Well, according to his DistroKid, I only saw it on the Spotification. I saw it on Apple Store and iTunes. So, Let me whip out the phone here. Let me see if it actually is on my favorite shit, YouTube Music. All right. All right, let's look. Nope, it's not on YouTube Music just yet. However, Forgotten Number 2, Juggalo Excellence, those two EPs are in fact on YouTube Music. Like, I'm a bigger fan of YouTube Music than I am of Spotify because, well, it's the rebel in me that says fuck Spotify because everyone else fucking uses it. If need be, I'll go to Amazon Music just to be a dick. Because everybody else will be like, oh yeah, well I'm on that too now. I'm using YouTube Music more. All right, well then I guess I'm using something else. Oh, okay. I see what's happening. No, fuck you. All right. Yeah, for some reason it keeps on saying that my shit's getting overloaded. I don't believe that for a fucking second. And then for some reason Streamlabs OBS opens up. Like, no, I don't want it. Something's going on with my computer. My computer is not calming the fuck down. All right, so we got some other news coming. Let's see, right here involving Hollow Wicked. So according to this, Hollow Wicked, while it's still going to be on October 31st, it's still going to be at the Masonic Temple in Detroit, Michigan. And nothing else has changed. Instead, one addition to it, according to what you see up here, for the ninjas that are not going to be able to attend Hollow Wicked, you can go to veeps.com, veeps.com, and you can watch the flavor live on pay-per-view. Just so that way, fucking, I guess the Masonic Temple can't slice a little bit more off the cheese. Let's be realistic here. The last time I talked about Hollow Wicked, I bitched up a fucking storm about the prices of the fucking tickets being almost $180 for the pit when back in the day, and this might be something small that I can agree with conservative Juggalo podcast on, is the fact that yes, back in the day a lot of places were cheaper, but really it all has to do with the fucking venue and all of that other shit. Which, by the way, any artist out there, I'm sure you can agree with me on what I'm about to say right here. The venue should not get a cut of the merch. I'm just putting that out there. That's like a literal out of nowhere kind of situation. Fucking chicken hawk motherfuckers. Like the venue is already getting mad loot because they know that ICP is becoming a more rare commodity. Meanwhile, you got motherfuckers like the Monstar crew that is like $20, $30 for a fucking ticket on some of the big shit, like even Monstar Christmas or Lights Out 7. You can get in for like $30. That ain't shit. And when I went to go see the Three-Headed Monster show, uh, I got in. I got the fucking place for $30. It was here in Grand Rapids, and it was at a fucking small venue. But nevertheless, like places like the Masonic Temple are gonna fucking make you pay out the ass, and a vast majority of the cut goes to them anyways. That's that's the gayest shit ever. Let's see. Plus, whatever the audience buys directly from the venue, right? And I can guarantee you, it's like what, $10 for for like a drink or something like that. It's like they overprice the fucking drinks. They take a cut of the merch from the fucking artists. They make the fucking people overpay to get inside the fucking spot. I don't give a fuck if it's the Masonic Temple. I don't give a fuck about you Freemasons. I give a fuck about going to Insane Clown Posse. So you should be acting accordingly. I would say for a venue even like that, no more than $100 is necessary. And make it general admission. Anybody can sit wherever they want or stand in the pit if they want. Because look, we're respectable. It's like if we see that the pit is full, we understand that we're not going to have to overfill the fucking pit. And some of us are too fat and lazy to stand there all fucking night. So give us a seat. Let us have a fucking seat. Don't mean to fucking interrupt you in the middle of your fucking non-religious hymn singing. I watched that fucking documentary about Freemasons, so I know a little bit about what's good. But still, nevertheless, no more than $100. This is an underground band, okay? It's not like you're fucking booking Metallica. ICP could make much more money if they would actually hire people. You have three choices: going to the show, watch it, stay in the merch line the whole time, or stay in the VIP line the whole time. Basically, I mean, like, obviously you're gonna fucking, if you don't see ICP before ICP is performing, then you're not, then you basically wasted your VIP. But yeah, and last year I stood in the merch line for like an hour and a half, something like that. But hey, I got some pretty dope drip out of it, so what do I give a fuck? At the very end of it all, it was worth it. I missed a couple of fucking acts that I could have lived without seeing, Ouija Mac and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, Ouija Mac's actually a nice fucking show, but it's starting to feel like once you've seen one Ouija act, you've seen them all. It's just the fucking aesthetics behind it fucking changes. The music, on the other hand, is kind of the same. But another Halloween show that's going to be going on is a Deadside Halloween 2 from Deadside Productions. So this is going to be over at Pops in Sauget, Illinois. And some of the names on here, pretty dope fucking deal. Unhappy, Insane Poetry, Clownvis is making an appearance, King Gordy, Crenshaw, and Isham the Unholy. Which, by the way, I was on TikTok earlier this week, and I saw a video from Gully Boy fucking shouting out Isham, giving Isham his fucking flowers, saying that there is no rap artist like Isham the Unholy, who actually goes out and does the shit for the art. He does acknowledge Isham as the godfather of the wicked shit, the innovator of acid rap, and showed a lot of utmost respect about the fucking horrorcore subgenre, subculture that has been created due to Isham. And Isham, while he's not as big and popular as some of the same people that he had inspired, such as Eminem and Insane Clown Posse, he still has, in a way, etched himself in the fucking books of hip hop. Which, by the way, this is going down Sunday, October 26th. So next week, Sunday, this is going down in Sauget, Illinois. $35 for a ticket to get inside Pops. I won't be there because I'll be doing this show. But I like this flyer though. The flyer very much reminds me of the movie Creep Show, or even fucking Tales from the Crypt. So I fucking dig that. And now we have our last piece of Juggalo news, and then we've got to talk about some other shit, which is Klokside 3, presented by Clockwork E, is going on November 7th and 8th, a two-day event over at Classics Victories in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some other people in the know in the Juggalo world that are within the Ohio area that I should know for a fact are going to fucking be there. Not just the Silver Boys. Obviously, it's not showing any fucking listing of who's going to be performing. Obviously, Clockworky is. They're from Columbus. Swills Edition, also from Columbus. Deck One Dealt, also from Columbus. So I'm pretty sure those motherfuckers, have nothing better to do. Let's check on that, okay? Okay, so Deck One Dealt does their podcast right before mine. So they have no reason not to show up. Swill, on the other hand, he does his shit on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then a pop-up every now and again. Yes, this is free advertising from a much lower channel than theirs. But the 7th falls on a Friday, so Swill, you best fucking show your ass up over at Classics Victories for fucking Clockworks shit, you know? East Cleveland. Cleveland's still not too far away from fucking Columbus. But thank you for correcting me. He could still fucking show. Swill's edition might show up. I'm not speaking for the man. I'm just making that point out there. So I'm not his booking committee. But nevertheless. By the way, there's actually a fucking an advertisement for it. The most insane underground show you'll see all year. Klokside 3, The Cataclysm is what they're fucking calling it. So let's watch the fucking trailer.
Klokside 3 is this November. 2 days of absolute fucking carnage featuring performances from 40 Hours.
Oh, there we go.
Skeezers.
This dude I thought was dope. Like I remember fucking reacting to this. This dude's got flow.
Hell's Bell.
Okay, those guys are dope too.
Siamese Goat God.
Who are they? I need to fucking go down to Battle Creek and troll them motherfuckers. I love these guys.
Mad Max.
Oh shit, I might have to fucking go down there. I might have to take a trip. Who wants to go on an adventure? Like all these motherfuckers I'm down with. I mean, granted, Mad Max and I don't necessarily see eye to eye on fucking governmental politics, but I like him.
Shooter McShooter.
Okay. What the fuck is up, Denny's?
Domestic terror.
Okay. Bro.
SON.
Oh, hell yeah.
Clockwork. Many more. So don't miss the 3rd annual Klokside. Weekend passes are $30. Pull up or get f***ed in the ass or something, bitch.
That's awesome. That's fucking fresh. All right, bet. I might have to see about trying to take some time off from my job, which, hey, I can pick and choose when I get the time off, as long as I've got the money to back up the missing time. You know, so other than that, that looks like a pretty dope lineup. Having SON on there, fucking Siamese Goat Guide up in that bitch. Dude, that's fucking dope. And then dude, another intrusive thought for the fucking win with that What the Fuck Is Up Denny's. What up, Jimmy Metal? But yeah, dude, that fucking lineup sounds fucking dope. There's the answer to my question. $30 for the 2-day pass. You can go to skeletix.com and you can pick it up there if you're in the fucking Columbus area, or you plan on going out of your way to fucking go to Columbus. There's not very many reasons to go to fucking Columbus, let alone Ohio. That's one of them. All right, so now that we got the Juggalo news out of the way, because we're still anticipating Hollow Wicked, and God only knows whether or not they're going to fucking come out with a Ballas location and date and time anytime soon. It should be coming. Let's talk about some other shit, shall we? We got some pretty fucking interesting shit. I don't know if anybody of y'all heard this. Being the fact that we're juggalos, I'm pretty sure a lot of us either don't know or don't care. But music television is starting to feed into the slow death of itself. Basically, what's going on is by the end of the year, 5. Let me zoom in on myself for this one. 5 fucking MTV based channels by the end of the year 2025 are going bye-bye. Now, fortunately, I guess I could say, is that those 5 channels are only based in the fucking UK. Wait, what am I doing? All right, I gotta go King Kong Bundy on this one. 5! Yak, yak, yak. Wait a minute, no kings, right? So, Kong Bundy, 5! Yak, yak, yak. All right, so anyways, yeah, 5 channels based off of MTV are going bye-bye. An 80s and 90s channel are fucking gone at the end of the year. And the funny thing is like some of these videos that I've seen that have talked about this, that have spoken on this shit, make no fucking sense to me. Well, make little to no fucking sense to me. But here's one video.
It's really hard to quantify the impact that MTV had on rock and metal music during its heyday. And for all the talk these days about how they don't play music videos anymore, if you were around during the golden era when they really did play music videos all the time and you would get ready for school and they'd have the music videos on in the morning and then you watch that sort of sad gradual decline. This next story is very unfortunate as MTV is undergoing a significant downsize as the brand continues to kind of ride off into the sunset, it would seem. Things get smaller and smaller every year, unfortunately, and now essentially MTV is more of a reality TV network.
Which is bullshit. It's always been bullshit. I hate that shit. Like, seriously, when it started to get to a point where, like, MTV was just doing... Like it's basically my, like what is it, like under like 16 and pregnant, like one episode of that a week, and then endless episodes of fucking ridiculousness. And there's only so much of Chanel West Coast fucking dolphin laugh that I can handle before I want to blow my fucking brains out. She laughed, like, seriously, like. Dude fucking Breeze and Chanel West Coast. Shut up, Chanel. Anywho, so this dude looks stoned and fucking red-faced. Anyways, so, okay, Jimmy Metal says MTV has 5 channels. MTV's got more than 5 channels, but, like, I know that 5 of them are leaving the UK. That's what it's being said on this video here.
And I don't really fault them for that.
But no, I do. Fuck that. Real World Road Rules. And then they did the Real World Road Rules Challenge, where it was like various stars from both shows got together to do shit. I don't fucking know. VH1 is not an MTV-based channel. That's like saying so is BET. And CMA, or like, yeah, that country music channel, where it was basically MTV, but it was all a bunch of stadium country music videos. For some reason, it had Sitting at a Bar by Rehab featuring Alan Jackson, which that was a surprising fucking sit through, but I actually thought that was a very enjoyable music video. Actually, I would say my favorite country music video that I've ever fucking seen, as cheaply made as it was American Ride by Toby Keith. I actually enjoyed that music video. Havoc TV used to be like the old MTV. I mean, like Violent J a long time ago used to say fucking bring back the box, which was basically an MTV-esque type channel that was in Canada, where you could call in you could call in and you'd have to like pay for the call, but the payment went towards the music video that you wanted to request. But yeah, like you had a whole bunch of other cool shit in there, like Beavis and Butthead and a lot of the fucking Liquid Television shit that fucking came out. The Head Saves the Universe as a miniseries. Eon Flux got its own fucking miniseries. They did play episodes of Ren and Stimpy on MTV for a short while. Celebrity Deathmatch. Tough Enough was on there as well, which was also fun to watch because fucking MTV always had like a cool deal with WWF at the time, or WWE. But like you got to remember, like, so like I was born in December of 1982. Okay, I'm 42 years old. I'm gonna be 43. Yeah, Jackass, Viva La Bam, Wild Boys. Those were all fun shows to watch. The Osbournes. That makes way more sense to have that channel, to have that show on MTV than it would be, fucking Underage and Pregnant as a reality show. It would make more sense for Flavor of Love to be on MTV, even though it was on VH1. I'm just saying. Flavor of Love and Rock of Love could have made more sense being on MTV because that's music-based shit. Cribs made sense being on there because it was mostly rock and rap stars and showing off their fucking houses. Like stuff like that made fucking sense. Pimp My Ride, which I believe who was doing fucking Pimp My Ride? Was it Exhibit that was fucking hosting that show? See, Don Chaos is on point with it. Yeah, so it was Exhibit. See, Don Chaos also is on point with that. The original Dr. Dre and Ed Lover doing Yo MTV raps. Fucking music videos 24 hours a day. But then they would also add shows that were based off of fucking music, like Headbangers Ball and shit like that. Like that made sense. And then they had like a time slot where they would play some of the more risque music videos that were coming out, like Erotica by fucking Madonna. Did you really think that that was going to be showing up at 3:15 in the afternoon? No, that was a buzzworthy fucking music video that could be played after midnight when all the kids my age at the time were going to fucking bed. Yeah, Beavis and Butthead was another prime example because they would have little segues where they would be fucking roasting the music videos. As a matter of fact, you got to remember this. The randomness of the music videos that played on MTV even during the fucking episodes of Beavis and Butthead. Like, I found out about Guar because of that shit. Fuck Andy Milonakis and especially fuck Andy Dick. Like, those two, I believe, were shows that could have been on another fucking platform, not MTV. But here's the thing about it. MTV in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s was basically the fucking pinnacle of pop culture and music. And any OG Juggalo clearly remembers Leyenda happening during the 2000s with fucking with trying to get Let's Go All the Way on TRL. A lot of OGs fucking remember that shit. But you remember the very first music video that popped up on MTV. Video Killed the Radio Stars by the Buggles. And ever since then it had multiple songs that were turned into fucking videos. It spawned off the creations and creativities of other music videos that you still see in that level of creativity today, even in the age of 2025. You still see creativity and theatrics. Like the biggest, most theatrical fucking music video that ever existed, Thriller by Michael Jackson, and it debuted on MTV. Like, MTV played the best in rap, pop, R&B, and rock and roll. And fucking slowly but surely, I swear to God, MTV began to eat itself by adding shows that had nothing to do with fucking music, like The Real World, like Road Rules. But shows like that wouldn't have fucking existed. And like, let's be honest here. Yes, reality TV killed MTV. But at the same time, I do believe that shows like those shows, those shows that I just mentioned, The Real World and Road Rules, would not have fucking survived if they weren't on MTV. That's the paradox. That like that's the absolute paradox. Shows like that wouldn't have lasted on A&E. Like, if anything, I believe that The Real World was the first ever reality TV show. I'm not sure. I'm gonna fucking go ahead and go to the University of Google and see if I can figure that out. Okay, so technically, like, it's not the first reality TV show. However, I believe in the format that it's in was the first reality type TV show. So the first reality TV show, according to Google, the first reality TV show is generally considered to be An American Family, a documentary series that followed the Loud family, or Candid Camera, a hidden camera show that filmed unsuspecting people. An American Family, but that's not really what that was. Like, it's not serialized. They're just random fucking videos. But if anything, I would say the format that it's in really was popularized by The Real World. I'm going to look this up right now. The Cops, yeah, I mean, like, in a sense, that is kind of serialized. Let's see. Okay, so there are 33 seasons of The Real World. It started in 1992, and it lasted from 1992 until 2017, and then it was moved to Facebook Watch in 2019, and then after that it was done. But according to this, okay, so it says, first broadcasted in 1992, the show was, this is according to Wikipedia, the show was inspired by the 1973 PBS documentary series An American Family. The Real World is one of the longest running programs in MTV history, one of the longest running reality series in history, and it is credited with launching the modern reality TV genre. So in a way, I am kind of right. For a lot of the modern reality TV shows that we see, even the fucking stupid ass game show ones that I have out there, like like Survivor or the fucking Bachelor, like the way that those are shot and edited and released still has a fucking digital thumbprint of The Real World embedded into it. The DNA of The Real World is definitely encoded into a lot of modern reality TV. And it's funny to me because my mom is obsessed with Survivor. My mom my mom doesn't watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. But during that one season where that one dude was walking around the fucking island naked the whole fucking time, like, was really a fucking set off for Survivor. And like, it was shot in the same way, and they fucking pick the same, they pick people the exact same way that they did for The Real World, where it's like, okay, if this person prolifically has a fucking problem with this type of person, then we're gonna need the white Mormon girl, we're gonna need the token black guy, we're gonna need another black dude that's not like necessarily token, but he's kind of like there. You know what I'm saying? We'd have to have some fucking redneck dude And just so that way there can be some kind of drama that's stirred up, especially in that one season when one girl was trying to leave the house. She got in the fucking car, and this dude fucking ran to the car, stopped the car, opened up the door, slapped the girl in the fucking face, shut the fucking door back up, and left the girl confused as he walked off, because apparently that dude and that chick had a fucking problem with each other. It's like, I remember that shit. I barely ever watched the fucking Real World, but nevertheless, while it was those type of shows that I feel really fucking started the slow death of MTV and the format that it was originally founded on, those shows would not have fucking survived off of any other fucking television program. And it wouldn't have led into other reality-based TV shows that were serialized, like 16 and Pregnant, which I can't fucking hate on that show enough. But I went on a tangent here. Let's talk more about this guy, or what he has to say.
We're going to show you a really cool video here from an MTV legend who is talking about where the network stands and kind of how things have shifted and why, most importantly, that has all happened. But let's take a look at what we know now about this very unfortunate announcement today from MTV. The news is that the parent company Paramount Global has confirmed it's pulling the plug on 5 of its dedicated music channels in the UK. On December 31st, 2025, MTV Music, MTV 80s, MTV 90s, Club MTV, and MTV Live will all broadcast for the very last time. This isn't just a programming shuffle, it's a major signal that the era of linear music television is officially over. The world has moved on to on-demand platforms like YouTube, and MTV is making a hard pivot away from its own roots.
Yeah, and that's always been the problem, which is what I just said. Like, the minute that they started pivoting away from the original mission, you know what I'm saying? That's when I stopped watching MTV. Like, I watched MTV just to have music in the background. And think about that. The longer the runtime, the better it was for that channel to thrive. As long as you kept that channel on, the more ad revenue it was going to have, because it would have higher ratings. Just playing fucking music videos 24 hours a day. Like, you could literally have MTV on in the background while you're washing the dishes, cleaning up the house. You could have MTV playing, lulling you to sleep with White Wedding while you were fucking just sleeping. Fuse TV, that was like the original MTV, and then ICP had their ICP show, ICP theater show on there. Yeah, I never really knew anything about Fuse until ICP announced that they were gonna have ICP theater on there. And that in and of itself makes fucking sense too, because it's two rappers that are fucking embedding themselves into music video and pop culture and movies and stuff like that, and even watching stuff from, like, the internet, whether it be like little short vines from back in the day, or even now TikTok, like TikTok videos coming out like that. But there is a problem that I see with something that somebody said in this video, and I'll let you know when it gets to that. Which, by the way, one of my favorite fucking things of all time when it concerned MTV. At first, I was a little upset when they started putting commercials on there. However, they used to have this one commercial I absolutely fucking loved, because it was absolutely fucking hilarious. I'm gonna have to see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find. I'm hoping that I can find it, because, like, it was funny as hell. It was a fucking perfume commercial. right? Okay, so here, before we get back into the video, I'll explain what this commercial was. It was a commercial for a body perfume called Parfum Decor. All right, and the main actress on it was Ali Larter. If you don't remember who Ali Larter was, she was one of the survivors at the end of fucking Final Destination. So this was kind of her breakthrough. In the commercial, she is buck ass nude. Okay? Now, obviously, they can't show nudity in a commercial, so they had bars over her chest and, and her genital area and stuff. But like you hear the voiceover, right? And the voiceover is saying you can spray this on your legs and on your thighs and on your beep. Like when she starts spraying it on her cooch, you can spray it on your arms and your belly and your beep. Like when he says you can spray it on your tits. Parfum Decor is so good that you can spray it anywhere. And she's like spraying this shit all over her body and shit. Even your beep as she sprays it on her ass. And then it's like, okay, it's like whatever the name of the fucking perfume was by Parfum Decor. And then it shows a dude. And then you hear the voiceover go, available for men too. And he just spritz it on his cock. And he kind of just like chuckles. End of the fucking commercial. One of the funniest fucking things I had seen in my youth was seeing that commercial. First time I ever saw a commercial on MTV, and as upset as I would be about that, the idea of having something like that as a commercial on MTV made fucking sense. Because in a sense, MTV was basically kind of like the fuck you to mainstream television. Never saw it or heard about that. Dude, I remember it clear as day. This is not even a fucking Mandela effect. Like, this is a commercial that actually existed. So anyways, let's go back to talking about how I want my MTV.
Than it already has. For decades, MTV wasn't just a channel, it was the culture. It launched on August 1st, 1981, with the Buggles, Video Killed the Radio Star. And from that moment on, it became the visual heartbeat for an entire generation of music.
Now, here's the other thing. Oh, yeah, here we go. Another one is Best of Headbangers Ball, right? Fucking Ricky Rackman talking about metal. Dude was a clear-cut fucking metalhead. Had the fucking glam hair and everything, and then he cut it all off and he ended up becoming like a fucking spirit monkey for fucking WCW before it fucking fell off and died. Which, by the way, that was actually my first memory of Ricky Rackman. I may have seen Headbangers Ball a time or two, but I'm too young to fucking, but it came out at a time where I was too young to fucking remember it.
Gave us the iconic Headbangers Ball, the legendary MTV Unplugged.
Boom, right there. Like, you had fucking Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and other fucking bands that did Unplugged. LL Cool J being the first and possibly only rapper to do an entire Unplugged set. So there is that.
Sessions, the chaos of TRL, and of course.
Oh god, yeah, I remember that shit. Just the chaos, and it shows a picture of Eminem, who was like pure fucking chaos during the TRL days. And you got Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, Korn, System of a Down, like during that time. And it was like, okay, dude, I could not wait to get home from school just so I could watch TRL, because at least that had like some sort of semblance of music video that you could actually watch. Because even then I was nostalgic for old 80s style MTV during the late 90s and early 2000s. And by the way, I will say this, after Carson Daly left TRL was pointless to watch. I remember that one of my favorite things was watching Tom Green have the Bum Bum song go #1 And then the minute it went number one, he's like, I reached the peak. There's nowhere I can top this. Let's retire it. I remember voting for songs, Korn. Dude, why, like, okay, Jimmy Metal, answer this question for me. Why was number 3 called the Korn spot on TRL? I'm sure you remembered this. Oh, you're stumped it? Okay, Bizarre 17 is close. It wasn't Freak on a Leash. It was Got the Life. That for the life of Got the Life could not surpass number 3. However, Freak on a Leash made it to number 1. And almost every fucking Korn music video that came out after that had at some point or another been number 1. And the top 3 bands were always the same fucking things during the Got the Life. It was always Baby One More Time, a random song from the Backstreet Boys, and Got the Life that sat in those top 3 spots every day for 3 fucking months before they had to get retired. And then the Bum Bum song came out of nowhere and just fucking floored it. Like, it was put up on there, and then Tom Green talked about it, and it shot to number 1 out of nowhere. Tom Green did, with the Bum Bum song, what ICP wanted everybody to fucking do to get Let's Go All the Way to number 1. And Tom Green fucking did it. Which, no hate to fucking Tom Green whatsoever. I remember back in the 90s, TV had a marathon Weird Al Yankovic videos. I remember fucking what was it? Weird Al Yankovic having like a whole hour-long time slot, and he ended the whole thing with him singing Since You've Been Gone. Like, MTV back in the day was the shit, and then once they started oversaturating its own market with reality shows and ridiculousness for some dumb reason, it basically just killed itself. That's the way I look at it.
For so many unforgettable moments at the Video Music Awards, MTV turned many musicians into global icons and shaped the way we saw and heard our favorite bands. It wasn't just music, it was an event. So why is it ending? Well, the reasons are unfortunately pretty clear. A source quoted by The Sun put it bluntly: the channel is a victim of the rise of streaming. Music
look, fuck Lars Ulrich.
Music discovery is now driven by algorithms on Spotify and
okay, so that may have been confusing because I stopped it in the middle of his speech, so let's start over again with
musicians into global icons and shaped the way we saw and heard our favorite bands. It wasn't just music, it was an event. So why is it ending? Well, the reasons are unfortunately pretty clear. A source quoted by The Sun put it bluntly: the channel is a victim of the rise of streaming. Music discovery is now driven by algorithms on Spotify and viral music videos on YouTube. The idea of waiting for a channel to play your favorite video feels like a relic from another time.
See, like, that's the part that I kind of disagree with. Is like, okay, think about this logically, okay? You get a motherfucker that is putting out a music video and posting it on YouTube and stuff like that. If you're a no-name band and is not getting any fucking stamp of approval from some other major artist, how the fuck is anybody supposed to figure out that your music video even exists? It was basically MTV that was like introducing bands to the public. There are a lot of bands that came out with music videos on MTV that you never would have fucking known about. And it's like, okay, MTV mixed in with radio and stuff like that. Basically, that I would say that that's like a pure perfect format, because you either had the radio that was like putting out fucking singles and creating legendary artists, and MTV would do the same thing but with music videos. So like you could have like, do you really think that Video Killed the Radio Star would be as popular as it was without it being the first ever fucking music video? Like, you could literally tell somebody, name more than one song from the Buggles, they can't. And without that music video, no one would know who the fucking Buggles are. The same thing with, for the longest time, MTV's slogan was, I want my MTV. Do you think anybody would actually know who fucking Dire Straits are because of that fucking catchphrase? Would anybody have actually been able to hear the song Money for Nothing by Dire Straits if it wasn't meant for it to be as a music video? And at the time, one of the coolest fucking music videos that came out there, because they used computer animation to make those little cutscenes of people moving furniture. They also cut out the second verse because they used the word faggot in it. But beside that, you know, the music video in and of itself is very memorable. And if anything, it also stepped into the plate Weird Al Yankovic, which he ended up parodying that fucking song. Weird Al would not have parodied that song if it was not for MTV having a music video out there, and nobody would even know anything about the Sultans of Swing, in a sense. And if it wasn't for MTV, you wouldn't have had people that were high on copious amounts of drugs watching Max Headroom in the 80s. Like, literally, I think the only way that you could watch Max Headroom is you'd have to be high on something. Like weed, probably, but most people during the 80s were fucking doped up on cocaine. Watching Max Headroom. Try to imagine that shit. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, I'm gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna look that up. Just for the sake of it, I'm gonna fucking. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna put this on. Max Headroom, 20 minutes into the future.
See, DistroKid makes it so easy to get your music on all of the streaming platforms.
Shut up.
I'm getting major label services at Indie.
I don't care. Why? Let me skip this shit. Okay, here we go. Max Headroom, 20 minutes into the future.
Shit. I beg your pardon. Did you get him? Oh, that's unbelievable. Hi. Both of you.
This junk is a machine. This is not Edison Carter. It is a computer-generated geek.
Yeah.
It's useless. Do you understand me?
Edison, there's somebody else in the system.
We buried that kind of crap decades ago.
Ben,
I am talking ratings.
This is the trailer for the show.
What do I do, Ben? Do what you have to, Murray.
It's like, in a way, what the hell are you even watching? This makes little to no sense. That was it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a commercial for Max fucking Headroom, bro. Let me see if I can find some shit. Let's see.
Are you a human who is scared by AI? Well, you should be. We are going to take over while you're sleeping. Wake up! Oh, no. Are you a human?
That's awesome. Somebody made an AI of an AI. The people who made it were coked out. No shit. Like, yeah, dude, dude, Max Headroom was a fucking icon in and of itself. And it was weird because, like, it's like this motherfucker came out in the 80s, right? Like, that whole fucking thing came out in the 80s. And, come on. Like, Max Headroom in and of himself was a fucking legend. So much so, which I was watching this earlier today. I watched the movie Pixels. Because, reasons. Like, Max Headroom was that level of an icon in the early 80s to fucking have shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was so, like, Max Headroom in and of itself was just, like, absolutely bizarre. Like, you did not realize what you were even fucking watching. But at the same time, it was like, it fit. But that was pop culture. It created fucking pop culture because of that. Like Max Headroom being embedded into pop culture because of it being on MTV. But having also, like, like two different, like other VJs and shit like that. Like, the only ones that I remember are both named Julie Brown. You had the fucking ginger Julie Brown with the big tits, and then you had downtown Julie Brown, which is wubba wubba wubba. And fucking those two. But then you also had, like, Carson Daly, Matt Pinfield, and then, like, what? Every fucking at like, you'd have a little blurb of MTV News, like, at 8:50, 9:50, fuck Jesse, 10:50, 11:50, 12:50, like 10 minutes prior to the hour, you'd have Kurt Loder fucking showing up for 20 years telling you something in the news of fucking in the music and of something going on in the music industry, which is how a lot of people ended up finding out about what happened between ICP and Disney. And Kurt Loder, I wouldn't even consider him a VJ. He's more of a journalist. But you had a lot of VJs back in the day. As as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and Google this up. Yeah, fuck Jesse. Jesse was a piece of shit. Like, Jesse Camp can kiss my ass. All right, so here you have a lot of these fucking VJs. Nina Blackwood, Alan Hunter, Martha Quinn, Downtown Julie Brown, Mark Goodman, JJ Jackson, Adam Curry, Jesse Camp, technically, I guess, Lala Anthony, Simon Rex, Amanda Lewis, Carson Daly, Daisy Fuentes, Fab Five Freddy, Vanessa Lachey, Ricky Rackman, Kennedy. Even though Kennedy is a lesbian, she was pretty fucking hot in my book. Bill Bellamy was even a VJ. Matt Pinfield, Susie Castillo, Hillary Burton, Brian McFadden. Yeah, Brian fucking McFadden. Tyrese Gibson, Ed Lover, Pauly Shore even. Colin Quinn got his start as a fucking, on remote control. Let's see. Carrie Werher, John Seneco, Karen Bryan, DJ Clue, Steve Isaacs, Jim Shearer. Dallas DeLeon, Dan Cortez, Kevin Seal, Dave Kendall, Ray Munns, the other Julie Brown, China Katner. Like, dude, all of these fucking people, and so many fucking memories when it concerned these VJs. And that's like, yes, it's a time gone, a bygone time now. And yeah, and still, even to this day, I'll still say fuck Jesse Camp. Like, with a splintered fucking steel dildo.
Move is also part of a larger corporate strategy. Paramount's in the middle of a massive cost-cutting effort following its merger with Skydance Media. And unfortunately, these niche music channels were on the chopping block. And for now, the standard MTV channel still exists, but as you probably are aware, there's little to no music videos being played.
Yeah, so basically it's fucking, it's MTV as of right now is sitting on borrowed time
on the network. And we have reaction coming in. I thought this was great. You actually have former Headbangers Ball host Ricky Rackman, who is opening up about this news from MTV, what it means, and why it happened. Here's what he had to say. I thought this was interesting.
And there might be something that Ricky's about to say that I totally disagree with.
I had quite a few people write me today about how upset they were that MTV was going away. First of all, MTV is going off the air in the UK, but will it happen in America? Yeah, obviously, pretty soon it will.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are upset that MTV is going away, I didn't even know that there still was MTV.
I mean, yeah, for real though. Because, like, I don't have cable downstairs. I don't go upstairs to watch television. Everything that I watched is streaming services. And like, they still have to advertise their shit, but it's like big name stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, and Dennis Leary also got his start on remote control as well. As a matter of fact, think about that. You got Colin Quinn and Dennis Leary, two Irish guys who fought each other all the fucking time in the middle of the show. You know, that was like part of the bit. Even though they actually hated each other, like, they didn't really hurt each other all too much. You know? Like, and that's weird that they hated each other.
How many of us have even watched MTV in the last 30 years? If you're wondering what it was that killed MTV, you could say the reality shows. I don't think it was the reality shows. I mean,
no,
I was on
reality.
a couple. I was on Daisy of Love and Charm School and the Rock of Love reunions, and I had a great time, but I don't think that's what killed MTV.
No, it's part of it.
What I believe killed MTV was YouTube. I mean, let's say you want to see a video from Megadeth. You want to see a video from Megadeth, you don't have to wait till some guy talks. You just say, hey, Siri or Alexa or whatever, play Megadeth, and you see it. If you wanted to see something from Run DMC, if you wanted to see something from any new band, if you want to see Slaughter to Prevail, anything that you wanted to see today, Youngblood, you just say it right into your phone and you get to watch that video.
Now, I disagree with what Ricky Rackman is saying. It's like, okay, for current artists and artists that you grew up with. So, like, yeah, he's right in that sense. I could pick up my phone and I could do a quick YouTube search for one of the bands that I like and that I want to listen to, but it's going to take a lot for an unknown band to be discovered. Most of the time, it's usually word of mouth. Or if they actually have the funds to do so, they would actually have to pay YouTube for the fucking promotions in order to fucking get their shit out. Hell, I've seen a couple I've reluctantly watched a couple of music videos of Tom MacDonald has fucking put out with, because he has put promotion on some of the music videos that he puts out, and they act like fucking commercials. You know, like, but at the same time, it's like the only reason why I've known of Tom MacDonald for the longest fucking time is because Violent J was trying to fuck Nova Rockefeller. You know, because, like, Insane Clown Posse and Psychopathic Records seems to be pretty notorious for discovering a lot of newer talent, and if they're a chick, Jay trying to fuck them. You know? But, like, outside of that, it's like, I wouldn't have known about what was going on with, fucking, you know, like, I wouldn't have known anything about fucking Tom MacDonald. And then now Tom MacDonald's name is out there, and I've known about him for this long, and now he's, like, fucking doing a whole lot of fucking right-wing pandering, making a lot of very conservative fucking music videos and songs and shit like that. Shit, him and Nova got that shit down to a science. But it's like, not once did we ever see a music video from him on MTV. But it's like, okay, there are some of those cats that are actually able to slip through the cracks. But also, when it concerns MTV, I feel like personally, if MTV was able to go back to their old format and do what they were doing before, instead of having all of these fucking reality shows and having shows like Headbangers Ball in between, like playing nonstop fucking music videos all the goddamn time, I bet you that their fucking ratings would go back up. Because there are some people who really just like the randomness of what, of like the anticipation of sitting around waiting for the music video that you want to watch to pop up. And then in the meanwhile, just having dope ass music in the background while you're doing other shit around the house. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was dope back in the day. If it wasn't, and it was like because of the way that MTV's format was, and like having obvious distribution deals and stuff like that with other, record labels and shit like that, we were able to find out some pretty dope shit, like Snow, the music video for Informer by Snow, iconic in its own way because he was doing a reggaeton style of hip hop, and the way that he rapped, nobody could understand what the fuck he was saying, so they actually had to have a scroll at the bottom showing the lyrics of the music video, because it's not very often that somebody's going to actually be able to properly interpret Informer. Say that makes no me, I'll go blame. I lick your bum bum down. They take it on to say that makes no me, stab someone on the lane. I lick your bum bum down. And that's just the fucking chorus. Then you get into the fucking verse. Police and then am I coming now? They blow down me door. We never could crawl through my window, so they put me in the back of the car at the station. From that point on, me reached my destination, and when the destination reaching out to each attention, where I, without my pants, looked up my bottom, so I fall. Like that in and of itself was fucking iconic. All right, back to what Ricky Rackman is saying before he gets that booger out of his nose.
So I think Headbangers Ball in the final years, when I hosted it, was a little bit different because while some people criticized me for being kind of goofy and doing fun stuff, you could just get videos anytime you wanted. So I wanted to make the show a little bit different and have fun, and that's exactly what I did.
Right.
But
like on Headbangers Ball, he was like talking about metal. Like he had a niche spot. And I feel like that was actually healthy for MTV to have like a niche spot, because like if you're a fucking metalhead, you like hair metal, you like thrash, you like, speed metal, and you like all of these other things. He was talking about that stuff and being himself, doing that kind of stuff, talking about the news, interviewing fucking musicians, having them on the show, like that picture that it showed of fucking Lars Ulrich and Cliff Burton. Like that's dope. And then you could have had other fucking spots on there, like fucking Julie Brown doing something involving like Cyndi Lauper and other fucking pop artists during that time. Could have done the same fucking thing, or had some other type of shtick. It would have been dope to have that more often and still be able to play music videos throughout the day.
To be upset that MTV is gone now? How many of us even know there was MTV? I think it's kind of ridiculous to be upset about it now.
I disagree. Like, I've been upset about the format that MTV has been going into since about 1997. And I have pined for the time that they would actually have music videos played all day long and have more music videos playing than TV shows. Not the other way around. Not the other way around where it's like you got back-to-back TV shows. Yes, I understand the importance of fucking product placement and advertising, especially since I have my own channel. I totally understand advertising. But like having more TV shows and then only playing music videos from like 1 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the morning when nobody's actually watching music videos and shit. Especially since if they're up during that time, they were watching the Girls Gone Wild advertisements on Comedy Central on loop until 5 in the fucking morning. So why would they want to watch fucking music videos when they can watch that commercial and crank one out before they go to bed.
But of course, that's just me.
So this truly feels like the end for MTV as music television. The brand will live on through its website, its social media, its one cable network now, and the VMAs, but its original mission to bring music videos to the masses 24/7 is officially coming to an end, and it really is the end of an era.
Yeah, and that's really something that he makes a good point. Like, literally, as of right now, the only reason to even have MTV exist right now is the VMAs. That's it. There's no other fucking reason. Yeah, you're not the only one who was late, 89. But yeah, literally, that is the only reason left that for MTV to exist is the VMAs, and music videos suck so much these days that you might as well just take the original MTV off the fucking air, son. Like, just fucking do it. Send it to pasture. Put it in, take it to the fucking back of the fucking acre, the acre wood and old Yeller MTV at this point. In a way, yes, YouTube did take its spot because you have immediate access to music videos. However, without the format that MTV provided back in the 80s and 90s, without that format, there's no new discovery. With everything being on demand, where like literally I can just fucking open up my phone, I can go on YouTube or YouTube Music and search for an already existing band that I know and enjoy. And there's going to be barely any fucking recommendation following it afterwards. Like, the only way that you can possibly get some semblance of MTV is to open up YouTube Music. All right, let's try to use this as a prime example, okay? You pick any fucking song or band or something like that. All right. Turn on autoplay. Let's switch to music videos. All right. So just as an example, okay, I opened up YouTube Music. Let's full screen myself here. Okay. The first song that I put up on there is E.T. featuring Kanye West by Katy Perry. I don't give a fuck. I like Katy Perry. And then after that, it suggests other music videos. Right Round by Flo Rida featuring Kesha. All Around Me by Flyleaf. So What by Pink. Good Girls Do Bad by Cobra Starship. All the Things She Said by Tattoo. But, like, these are all popular bands and stuff like that. But those are recommended because those are what other people algorithmically watched after watching the music video for E.T. by Katy Perry. So it's like, okay, it's already going to show already existing bands. There's going to have to be some way, shape, or form to be like, if you like this band or this artist, then we recommend this newer artist here. They're not going to do that. They're going to look at whatever's the most popular fucking thing. That's how the algorithm was going to work. So it's going to take artists a horrific amount of time to actually get their name out there to be relevant enough to be compared to with Katy Perry. See what I'm saying? It's tough in that sense. All right, so we got some other stuff that we got to talk about. So RIP, I'm shooting out an early RIP to music television. I loved music television. Even prior to ICP's Let's Go All the Way music video coming out there, and the only way that you could see, that's another fucking piece of MTV history also, was Shockumentary being displayed on that channel. Because of what happened with Disney and Island and MTV trying to give a big fuck you to to ICP their whole fucking career. It's interesting how that fucking works out, isn't it? But yeah, early rest in peace going out to MTV. It's very unfortunate. Not to change the subject or anything like that, but I did my hair for this. Somebody ended up saying at the very beginning of my show, you don't see Crazy McCormick without a hat too often. Yeah, well, I decided to look pretty for you guys. Because I'm too sexy for my shirt. A weird video in and of itself. Also, another interesting music video that I caught wind of, thanks to MTV, was the music video for The King of Wishful Thinking by Go West. That was a one-hit wonder song that ended up appearing on fucking, the Pretty Woman soundtrack. And if you watch it, the longer you fucking watch the music video, the crazier it gets. It's so fucking interesting. Like, as a kid, it's interesting because it's like, okay, this is a Matrix video and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on and I don't understand it. Now as an adult, it's like I understand it. Whoever's fucking singing the song is losing their sanity. ICP still going and MTV. Well, also keep in mind that MTV had 10 years before ICP came out on the scene. So ICP has 11 years. Actually, yeah. They have to keep going until 2036 to become older than MTV as a band. All right, so next thing we're talking about, and it's not us still talking about this fat guy and what he had to say about MTV. We are going to go into the world of politics for a little bit because I did find this interesting. Turns out yesterday? There was the No Kings protest. 2,700 protests in unison throughout the entire country, amassing about 7 million fucking people all together. Now you got to also remember that sounds good. That sounds good and big in numbers, but I'm sure that there's some things that can be made to make that sound pretty fucking small. But here's a video for it. They're chanting "Abolish ICE." I'm gonna need that. Where's Donald Trump gonna go? I mean, the White House? Because, he is the president. Just saying. They're chanting USA. Is Hacksaw Jim Duggan in that fucking crowd?
From coast to coast on Saturday, millions of Americans turned out along highways, in public squares, parks, and downtown areas for the No Kings protest. Okay,
so there's one, let's see. This Dairy Queen does not need a king. Okay, so we have a fucking furry in an inflatable cow outfit hanging out with Cookie Monster. All right, and then obviously okay, so tell me, how peaceful is 8647? We know what 86 means, and we know who 47 is. I'm just saying. You expect us to be stupid and not understand that? And all that other shit. Which, by the way, I was working and there was a protest going on here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I was driving around and I was like, this Burger King downtown is awfully busy and there's a lot of people picketing. What the hell's going on? And I saw people in line holding on fucking No Kings protest signs and shit like that. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I wonder how fast this Burger King's going to run out of those paper crowns.
More than 2,600 separate protests were planned from big cities to small towns. Organizers say in all, 7 million people took part in Saturday's events. Some of the biggest crowds were in the cities most directly affected by Trump administration policies. We're looking at Chicago on Saturday. A march at one point stretched for 22 city blocks. Thousands more turned out in D.C.
Now, there was actually a picture of where everybody was protesting in Grand Rapids. Obviously, Grand Rapids, Michigan, not necessarily a big enough of a city to capture the eyes of the mainstream news. And, but like there was actually a helicopter that showed an overshot of Rosa Parks Circle, and it was a pretty early shot. So it didn't look like there was a whole lot of people there, but what they weren't showing were people all the way down Monroe Avenue and around Pearl Street and wrapping around Rosa Parks Circle. So I just did the math, and out of 2,700, I know that this said 2,600, but I read 27 according to the No Kings website. And they said 2,700 protests going on all across the country, which really, if you think about it, I got to give it credit where credit's due. That is kind of the power of the fucking internet, is that we have the capability to branch out like this. And it's funny as hell because, like, I posted a TikTok posthumously wishing Charlie Kirk a happy birthday on the 14th while me and my daughter went to go to IHOP to eat pancakes. Blueberry pancakes. For Charlie, And somebody ended up saying, you need to go out into the real world and get friends. And it's like, you obviously don't understand the power of the internet, because I do have friends and fans that are all over the world. I have friends that are all over the country, and I have one or two people that are friends of mine in the UK, New Zealand, Australia, because of juggalo shit, not necessarily because of politics, but I also have fans all over the fucking world. You know what I'm saying? But once again, this is one of those things where it's like, okay, this shows the power of the fucking internet and how far out your reach can go. Because without networking in that sense, we wouldn't have had 2,700 protests going on at the same time. So I have to give credit where credit is due. That's the least that I can fucking do. You know what I'm saying? I can't hate on that, because I do the same thing with this, with this platform that these people did to fucking gather protesters. Now, I did the math. 7 million people approximately protested in unison all across the country in 2,700 different rallies, averaging about 2,592 or 93 people per protest. So 7 million altogether already sounds big, but 25 depending on the city, 2,500 people depending on the city that it was going on in, really fucking makes it seem rather fucking small.
Where the No Kings event was headlined by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
No, President Trump, we don't want you or any other king to rule us.
Trump's a king? Is that what this is all about? You guys think he's a fucking king? Because I was pretty sure that he was president of the United fucking States. And besides, hey, aren't you supposed to be, I don't know, in DC figuring out a way on how to take care of this fucking government shutdown? So that way the military don't have to worry about when their next paycheck is, or when all of these people that need food stamps and WIC can get their fucking food. You say you care so much about the fucking people, but here you are prioritizing what's important, you know, making a speech at a useless event versus trying to figure out whether or not you should vote on the fucking budget for next year and then try to work things out in the latter run so that way people can be fucking fed and other government employees can be, I don't know, paid and not just you. Because, yeah, like, reality check, senators and congressmen still get paid while other forms and branches of the military do not. Although I will say, like, there are some people in the military that are still getting paid according to some of the people that I have seen. Like, there's this one TikToker that goes live and debates liberals and shit, and her husband works as a naval officer, and according to what she said, the government bank that he goes through will give him his weekly check, and then when the government is switched back on, all of the money that he would be getting, just like any other fucking person who's not getting paid that works for the government right now, they would end up getting reimbursed all of the money that they were owed for what they missed, right? So this bank that this lady's husband fucking goes through still pays him, and they'll just take the money that he's supposed to get reimbursed to replenish. And it's also like, it's basically a loan, but because it's government, 0% interest on the loan. And I'm like, all right, that's fucking, that's helpful. I don't know if it's just for a certain branch of military or if it's for all the branches of military, but at least we know that our fucking men and women in the military are getting taken care of in that sense. But the IRS is getting furloughed, a whole bunch of people are getting furloughed, and it's like, okay, look, you're the Democrats in the Senate and the House are fucking being pissy about shit. Then of course, we don't want Donald Trump, who's only been president for an accumulated amount of 4 years and 9.5 months, right, to be king, as opposed of these fucking people who have been in the House of Representatives or in the Senate 30, 35, 40, 50 fucking years. But they don't want Donald Trump to be a king. That makes fucking sense.
Thank you very much. But we will maintain our democratic form of society.
You mean National Republic, right? Like, remember how it's like to the republic for which it stands and not for the fucking democracy for which it stands? Or did you just like try to rewrite the fucking Pledge of Allegiance? That still shot makes him look like he's shitting himself. Oh, and by the way, I noticed, he's not wearing a tie because, he has to fucking show how cool he is. Look, just wait until the winter. You can go back to your fucking trench coat and fuzzy mittens, and everybody will think you're a cute old man again. But in the meantime, go fix the fucking budget, or at least vote on it so that way everybody can get paid, and that's one less thing that the Democrat voters can shut up about.
The D.C. protest took place on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Let's see. Patriotism means to stand by your country. It does not mean to stand with the president. Theodore Roosevelt. I don't know if you know this, picketer here on the right, but two things. One, you wrote PMS on your fucking sign, which I'm assuming is what you're going through right now, which is why you and the rest of your miscreants in the background are all fucking bitchy. But at the same time, there is such a thing as having two truths. I love my country. I also stand with the president because I believe that he's doing the right thing. Speaking of which, let me ask the people, even though I did hear news that there was a little bit of a drawback with what's going on in Israel, you know, Israel says that Hamas ended up breaking the treaty, and Hamas says that Israel broke the treaty, right? That's why I'm not really talking much about that tonight, because I'm not, like, there's no definitive fucking story behind that. So I don't want to talk about it just yet. But one of these two fucking teams broke the fucking peace treaty, and they didn't even last a goddamn week. But my point is in bringing up Israel, right, is that if Donald Trump is literally Hitler, why is he helping the Jews achieve peace in the Middle East? Just a thought, you know, just a crazy fucking thought. There's nothing more American than opposing a tyrant. You have to be a fucking king in order to be a tyrant. This has to be a fucking, like, and I don't think that he's a tyrant. And by the way, I might as well put this out there. If he was in fact a king, I doubt that he would be able to give you the right to protest having no kings. Just another playful thought.
Right near the White House. Alongside Senator Sanders was Senator Chris Murphy, as well as leaders of several human rights and activist groups. Saturday's protests in D.C. and nationwide drawing strong reactions on both sides of the aisle. Sarakshi Rai of TheHill.com is live.
Okay, so this frog thing is actually kind of funny. Like, because of what happened in Portland with the guy in the inflatable frog outfit that got pepper sprayed into the fucking air vent and shit, and now a whole bunch of people are dressing like frogs. I think it's kind of funny.
Washington for us. Good to see you, Sarakshi. What are we hearing from lawmakers, including the president?
That's right, Hannah. A lot of reactions from the No Kings protests that took place across the United States yesterday. And we did hear from the president late last night. He posted an AI-generated video of himself on Truth Social that showed him in a King Trump fighter jet and jumping
this is dope.
To be brown liquid on protesters at the No King protest in New York. We also heard from the Trump War Room X account that was retweeted by a lot of
see this
Trump
shit?
administration officials.
And right in the front is Harry Sisson of TikTok fame. That dude is like the fucking glory hole for the Democratic Party. Like, on the real, like, that dude sucks so much blue dick. It's astonishing. And it was, like, I've watched this dude since the presidential campaign run. Like, he was all about Joe Biden, right? And then when Joe Biden fucking decided that he was not going to run for a second term and instead inserted Kamala Harris, he started fucking eating out Kamala Harris on all of his TikToks. It was like, no matter what, like, he refuses to believe that the Democrats are not doing the right thing right now. Let's see, they really want King Biden or Obama and his husband. Right, King Mike. You know, King Barry and King Mike and King Biden all in a three-way fucking, not bukkake, but a three-way Dutch rudder. With Kamala Harris in the middle. But yeah, so like, you see the video. He gets in a fucking fighter jet. It says King Trump on the side. He's flying to one of these protests with, like, while wearing a crown. Which, by the way, in the original TikTok video that Trump posted on TikTok, it's playing Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. You know, because fighter jet. And then what ends up happening? shit happens.
As well, and they continue to post memes throughout the day, really making light of the fact that people were protesting this Trump administration. In one instance, they posted an AI picture of the president in a crown along with a royal cape, standing at the balcony of the White House. So
they're just
they're
dumping
really
shit.
Taking a very
yeah, take that, shithead. Fuck Harry Sisson.
Mocking tone to some of the protests, but hearing from Speaker Mike Johnson as well, he said essentially that this weekend's protest was a Hate America rally. He said that if the president was a king, then there wouldn't be a government shutdown right now in Washington D.C. and they'd continue to work.
Yeah, and that's truth there too. There's already an actual No King's Day. It's on July 4th. We call it Independence Day. But, you got to remember, some of these people are fucking stupid. They think that on July 2nd, aliens came down, and then on July 3rd, they ended up attacking all across the world. And then on July 4th, the president said, and should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be just an American holiday, but a day when the world cried out in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day. And then they killed a bunch of aliens and blew up the mothership in space. I'm pretty sure that there's some people who actually saw that movie as a goddamn documentary. When they really should be looking at Idiocracy and look at it the same way that I looked at my old man when it concerned raising children. Look at this and do the exact opposite. You'll go no wrong.
So really, Republicans pushing back on the No King protesters. And as you said, we heard from the Democratic senators, and they were very, very supportive of the protesters and their mission to really protest the Trump administration.
I mean, I will say this, though. I can agree with the protest in the fact that I literally don't want a king in America. But where I disagree is the fact that Trump is, in fact, not the king of the United States of America. We fought about that. And have since, for the last 249 years in this country, have not had a single fucking king. We started having a not king over fucking tea getting thrown into the goddamn harbor. Right? And this is coming from a guy who time and time again failed U.S. history in high school. Yeah, nobody wants a fucking king. All right? That's why the president is the president. And the president has fucking term limits. Kind of like how the Senate needs it. Because these professional fucking criminals are taking all the goddamn money. And by the way, do you guys remember something about Bernie Sanders' campaign about his socialism ideals, and how he wanted to fucking give everybody free health care and everybody goes to college for free, and what ends up and it's like, okay, well, how are we going to pay it? We're going to tax the rich. All the millionaires and billionaires of the country are going to get taxed even more. And it's like, no, like the tax brackets are just fucking fine where they're at. How about you take out some of those fucking bullshit bills that you've added into the budget so that way there's more money in the fucking pocketbook of the country. And maybe we wouldn't be in such fucking large debt. Speaking of which, I saw somebody on TikTok that was talking about apparently like there was the possibility of getting a stimulus check in the future. Like everybody in America would get like $2,000, right? They were able to accrue $1 trillion due to the tariffs. And then everybody would end up being able to get a $2,000 kickback. But if there's 330 million motherfuckers on this planet, on this country. Okay, so, yeah, that's $660 billion out of that trillion, which leaves $340 billion that could be used for something else. Instead, and I guess this dude, and I don't have proof of this, but the dude ended up saying that instead of giving us the stimulus, it could possibly go towards the $35 trillion deficit that this country's in and try to lower that. I mean, if you pay that, if you put more money in on that shit, you know, like if you put more money into that shit, that's less fucking interest, I would assume. But it doesn't work the same way that it works for us when we are getting interest on fucking credit cards and taxes and all that other stuff. It doesn't work the same way with the Federal Reserve, from what I understand. But yeah, so I had 2 other videos, but pay on that and then pull out another loan from FDR. Nah, because like what I feel, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but it just makes sense to me. So you don't necessarily have to quote me on this as fact or anything absolute, but this is just how my mind works. One of the reasons why we're in so much debt right now is because of how much money that we've gotten on loan from the Federal Reserve. And all of that stuff does accrue interest, and you have to pay that interest off. But I also believe that it's a lot of money that is added, that's also tagged on because of how much debt our citizens have. Collections and credit card debt and stuff like that. So me personally, I'm planning on taking my fair share of that shit and paying that off. Right? But also keeping in mind of COVID, how many checks did we get with COVID? Like it was like what, 4 $2,000 checks? We got like every American ended up getting fucking COVID checks and a whole bunch. And in 2008, there were so many fucking companies that ended up getting bailouts because of the recession and stuff like that. So like that's by the end of Obama's administration, by the end of Obama's 2 terms, we were at like 17 or 18 trillion dollars in debt. And since then, we've accumulated double that. So now we're at like 36,000 fucking dollars. What do stimulus checks even really do? People just buy useless shit anyways, right? It's not enough to really help most people. I mean, yeah, basically you're right. If anything, that would just circulate more money into it. The only difference is that it's not money that's being pulled out from the Federal Reserve. Because when you pull money out of the Federal Reserve, what that's doing, as I explained last week, is that's stretching out the value of the dollar, thus making the value of the dollar less worthy, right? The more debt that we carry with this trillionaire deficit that we're in, the less value it's worth. The major difference between this stimulus and the ones that we ended up getting during COVID is that this isn't coming from the Federal Reserve. This is actually coming in from money that we're accruing from other countries due to the tariffs. It's still love either way you cut it. But the way I would see it, and to me this makes sense, is that if you were to take that $1 trillion and you put it into the amount of money that we already have accumulated in debt, that's less money that we have to fucking take care of. We go from 36 to 30, to $35 trillion, and slowly but surely over time, if you were to continue doing that, and possibly if we're able to figure out a way on how to get $2 trillion from tariffs and all this other stuff, black budget's a different thing too. But like, if you're the more of that fucking $1 trillion debt that you pay off, that means more money's going back into the country, into the reserve. That will strengthen the American dollar. And that'll actually make it so the value of the dollar in America is worth more. And not only would that help out our country and having more money or more value, but it would also help out other countries in the future. And I think that's what Trump is promising all of these other countries when he's increasing the tariffs, is that it's going to help benefit in the longer run. Is that, yes, it's going to hurt now, and that's why a lot of people are freaking out. But at the same time, it's like, okay, if you're fucking going into a job now where you're making a minimum of $15 an hour or $20 an hour or something like that, imagine how much value that's going to be worth when the deficit is paid up a little bit more and the value of the dollar is worth a lot more. That $15 an hour will start to feel like $25 an hour at some point. When I do Grubhub and I make $1,300 a week doing that shit, yeah, I'll have a little bit something more to show for it. But also at the same time, corporate greed has to fucking come down too. They also have to understand that the value of the dollar is going down, and so prices need to fucking go down. Because if they don't, then less people are going to want to fucking buy it. If the value of the dollar goes back to being worth, like, let's say it's at 50 cents right now, right? Or actually, you know what? Let's be a little bit more realistic. Let's say the value of the dollar is actually worth 21 cents, right? Yeah, that could work. Now you decrease the debt, the deficit in this country. You bring it down to about 50%, and then it's going to be worth 42 cents per dollar. And on top of that, that'll actually make it so printing a fucking penny won't be worth 3 cents. And then you can actually start printing pennies again. Like, how fucked up is it that the value of a penny is worth less than the print of the penny itself? That's where we're at, folks. We're at where a penny cost 3 pennies to make 1 penny. That's why Donald Trump wants to cut that out of the mint. And that also would save money, too. But basically, it's like, okay, the more that we pay this off, the more the value of the dollar will be worth. And then we'll be able to save more money. Probably won't get a raise anytime soon because of that shit. But at the same time, we're also right now not getting any raises because the value of the dollar has gone down and businesses can't necessarily afford it. Which, by the way, is the reason why I decided to go into work for my fucking self. And since I did, I make an average of about $27 an hour. Actually, no. I make I do more work, but I make more money. And I'm a little bit more business savvy with what it is that I'm working on. Anyways, let's watch one more video. And this is coming from Benny Johnson. Oh, he's anointing a new king.
Now come the days of the king.
It's fucking Trump. It's a fucking... Oh, that's a totally awesome opening.
What's up, guys? Many No King's Day rallies took place all over America. This is, of course, the AstroTurf foreign-funded communist rallies made up entirely of degenerate old senior citizens who are angry that their Social Security check came a little late.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like even the people that I saw that were at Burger King that I mentioned before, when I went to go pick up food at Burger King for a client, I was looking around and there were a lot of geriatrics old fucks that were at that fucking Burger King. And also not a single non-white in sight. It was all honkies that were at that fucking Burger King. I get in my car, and I mean, there were a couple of cops that fucking showed up, you know, because I guess it was the end of the fucking protest. And I guess on a separate note, I do have to say I am proud of my city for not launching itself into a full-scale riot. I do have to say I'm happy that that did not happen. Everybody that went to these protests, for the most part, I know my city didn't fucking blow into a full-scale riot, and downtown didn't get destroyed again. So I'm happy with that. Although I did hear that there were some cities that were kind of problematic, but not very much, because it's like, how in the fuck are the old fucks gonna have the strength to throw a brick through the fucking cop shop? You know what I'm saying? There was a Big B nearby, but, you know, they don't have the strength to throw a rock through the window.
This month, listen to the way that the local news station in Boston described their No Kings rally.
Okay, so before we get into that, I do have to say this. I have seen a variety of times, like, not even downtown, but in the small stretch, like on the corner in Grand Rapids, the corner of Knapp and East Beltline, and I would always see a whole bunch of old fucks holding No Kings signs and stuff like that, even prior to No Kings Day. So I know that a vast majority of them is basically consisting of a bunch of old fucks who pine for the days of the 60s when they would protest for stupid shit then, and a bunch of multicolored, frumpy lesbians that just are looking for something to hate.
An older crowd. There's not a lot of folks, and granted, it's a big crowd here. I'm not good at estimating, but it's definitely over 2,000, maybe close to 3,000. We can't see everyone, but...
And not a single mosh pit. Like, you know, like when I see a crowd that big, I want to see at least a circle pit. That would have been dope to see a fucking circle pit. Even if it's a fucking protest, I want to see people doing the wall of death. 'Cause reasons. At least entertain me from the sky view here.
It's an older crowd, a lot of white hair. You see out there, Q-tips, as we used to call them in the business. And they're out protesting, and not a lot of young people.
Not a lot of young people. You can see that in every single video.
Yeah,
I'm
look at this.
convinced that there's not a single person
Old fuck,
under the age of 50 that showed
old
up
fuck,
to
old
the
fuck,
No
old
Kings
fuck,
rally.
and
I
some
also have
grandchild.
another theory,
more old
I'm gonna
fucks.
prove it one of these days, that what they do in order to make these rallies happen is they go to the local nursing homes, and they just have them empty out the nursing homes because they need something to do for activity hour. And this is a cheap and easy way to get old, degenerate communists and Marxists from the 60s.
Okay, this right here, this makes little to no sense. Okay, so Antifa, so like this is basically another one of those we're gonna fucking defy Trump kind of things, right? So you see that fucking sign right there, on the tweet, and it's a picture of Jimmy Kimmel that says Antifa. So it's like, okay, all of these celebrities that oppose Donald Trump being president, and they're putting them on fucking picket signs and saying that they're members of Antifa now, because Trump has declared that Antifa is in fact a terrorist organization because of what had happened in Portland. So there you go. You see Jimmy Kimmel with his fucking fake ass smile, and it says Antifa, right?
To relive their glory days. They also were wandering around holding up signs saying that Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Jimmy Kimmel are all Antifa members.
Yeah, there's
okay.
AOC.
Interesting.
Gavin Newsom.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. I am Antifa.
I even seen a video of another TikToker on the left known as Jolly Good Ginger claimed that he was Antifa, and I find that interesting because that motherfucker is prior military. So don't you think that if you're prior military and you have military background and you're considering yourself Antifa, which the president has declared as a terrorist organization, not only are you a terrorist, but isn't that also treason? Boy, this episode should have just been called Lots of Playful Thoughts. What's with the yellow scarf? This isn't 1980s, and you're not fucking Chachi.
Says George Conway, who's looking real rough these days. Actually, looks like a wax figure at Madame Tussauds. He's looking bad. I mean, they're just degenerate old freaks that are trying to relive the 60s. It's amazing. At exactly 1 p.m., all the No Kings protesters legitimately disappeared. They're totally paid, and it's all AstroTurf.
You know what? I will openly admit I know nothing about George Conway, so let's just look that up. Okay, he's just a fucking lawyer. Oh, and activist.
The gaming industry has gone from...
Ah, god damn it. Not yet.
And they're out protesting and not
holding up signs
saying
that Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Jimmy Kimmel are all Antifa members.
Like, this sign right here says, "Speak up if you have lost your freedom of speech." No one has lost their freedom of speech. I'm assuming that this one has something to do with Alligator Alcatraz.
Okay. Interesting. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
All
I
right.
am Antifa, says George Conway, who's looking real rough these days. Actually, looks like a wax figure at Madame Tussauds. He's looking bad. I mean, they're just degenerate old freaks that are trying to relive the 60s.
Yeah, I agree.
It's amazing. At exactly 1 p.m., all the No Kings protesters legitimately disappeared. They're totally paid, and it's all AstroTurf.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they have to get back to their fucking old folks' homes. You know, their recess is only on for a certain amount of time before they have to go back into their fucking rooms and go to bed so that way they can get up at 5 in the morning for early bird breakfast. You know, they got to get their fucking hot coffee at McDonald's. That's like 126 degrees to give them fucking second or third degree burns on their fucking skin when they accidentally spill it on their genitals. I don't know if you guys remember that hot take. You know, so that way they can get a fucking hash brown and an egg McMuffin at 5, 6 o'clock in the fucking morning. Oh yeah, and look at that shit. Somebody stepping on the American flag. Yeah, that's classy.
They also left behind an insane amount of trash, including American flags that they all proudly stepped on.
Yup. Yeah, and they were worried about the trash that was fucking actually picked up at the Charlie Kirk memorial service because there were no trash cans over there. And then they tried to say, well, they left a whole bunch of trash. Yeah, they had cleanup for that shit. And they didn't have any trash cans because nobody knew whether or not somebody would be much of a fucking asshole to throw a goddamn bomb in the trash can, you know? That's why they didn't have them at the memorial when people were waiting in line.
A lot of the No Kings protests were a bust. It's like not a lot of people showed up. A bunch of elderly protesters just sitting and relaxing. And
yeah,
yelling,
and a couple of weirdos,
and
too.
Breathing heavily. Antifa is to be expected.
There you go. Trump has the opportunity to do the funniest thing this Halloween. Dude, that would be awesome. If Trump was handing out candy at the White House dressed as a king, that would be dope as shit. Like, that has to be not AI. this Halloween.
And what is also to be expected is that they got trolled, because it's just humiliating. It's just humiliating, this movement.
I agree.
No Kings movement brought to you by people who voted for Kamala Harris, who never got a single primary vote, who was vice president of an installed president, who somehow miraculously got 30 million more votes than any Democrat in my lifetime.
I remember. Yeah, at 3 o'clock in the morning, just all of a sudden, all the mail-in ballots fucking suddenly came in, and it was 30 million fucking people.
And is the party that shut down skate parks, locked people in their homes for a cold, that wanted to make sure that you couldn't eat or work.
It was a super
because
cold.
People got a cold. All right. Yeah. They're the No Kings party.
The super flu.
The people that want government health care.
From China.
Run Social Security, social programs, an open border. They're the No Kings people. Got it?
Yeah, yep. Which, by the way, I decided to actually look up the No Kings website. So we're gonna point out a couple of things right here, because I found something kind of interesting. First off, they want to do a call-in on the 21st. I guess it's going to be like a Zoom call for people that participated in the No Kings protest. Now, this is a resource guide. It says, this document cannot and does not contain legal advice. The information found in this document is provided for general information and educational purposes only, and is not a substitute for professional legal counsel. Now, here's the whole reason for the No Kings protest is mainly because of ICE and what they're doing in the country to get the illegal immigrants out of the country. Right? Why is the only translation in Spanish? Do they think that the only people that they're going after are Mexicans? I mean, granted, profiling is a little bit understandable because that is the specific race of people that do come into this country illegally. But there have been a lot of other races that have come in from other countries that have come in illegally. Now, apparently this is a 3-part thing. How to prepare for your protest, know your rights, and organizing a community response. We're going to skip directly to section 2 because I wanted to point this out. As a protester, you are afforded the constitutional right to peacefully assemble and express your views. Law enforcement, including federal agencies such as ICE, is often used during times of public dissent. Ensure you are clear on your rights before attending your protest. I want you guys to pay attention to this. All right? This is kind of important that I'm pointing this out. Okay, so you've got these sections here. Protesters' rights, know your rights during an arrest. After you are released, know your rights if confronted with ICE. Immigrants' rights if detained by federal immigration authorities. Okay, I actually looked at this beforehand, so I found this to be interesting. Protesters' rights. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution guarantees the right to peaceful protest. This is true. Freedom of assembly. You have the right to protest on certain public properties subject to certain localized restrictions. Yes, you have to get a permit in order for that to fucking happen. You have the right to protest on private property if you have the consent of the property owner, or you are in and of yourself the owner of said property. When you are lawfully present in a public space, you have the right to photograph anything in plain view. Yeah, like you can go on TikTok Live. Law enforcement may not confiscate or demand to view your photographs or videos without a warrant, nor may they delete data under any circumstances, which is true. If you are videotaping, be aware that the audio may be treated differently than the visual due to state wiretapping laws. Yeah, that's called, I believe that's the Patriot Act. Be aware of audio recording restrictions in your state. Now, here's something that I have said for the longest fucking time, and I still believe this to this day. If you have nothing, like, if you have nothing incriminating, then you have nothing to fear. And the same thing goes for situations like this, where it's just like, if you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to fear. Which is why, back in 2012, when Guido and I went to the gathering of the Juggalos and we got pulled over by the cops, I was open as fuck. He was tripping the fuck out. The entire time. He was tripping the fuck out. I was cool as a cucumber. Because I have nothing to hide, so I have nothing to be afraid of. I knew that then. 13 years ago. I knew that then, and it still works to this day. If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to fear. Especially when it concerns law enforcement. I'm always respectful to fucking police officers. Not once did I ever say fucking ACAB. Okay, the First Amendment does not protect acts of protest that become violent or the destruction of property. Well, gee, you know, you're about 5 years too late on that one. Should have thought about that with George Floyd and shit. Be aware of any curfew restrictions that are in effect, especially the old fucks. Depending on your state, you may be subject to laws that prohibit wearing a mask. Like Chicago and Portland and California because of ICE that does nothing to ICE. These rights apply regardless of citizenship or immigration status, but be aware that the consequences of unjustified arrests may be greater for non-citizens. That would be the people who are here like on a visa. Okay? Resource, see the ACLU's Protesters' Rights Guide. Okay, know your rights during an arrest. Okay, here we go. Stay calm. Record what is happening on your phone or ask a bystander to do it. You have no obligation to speak to law enforcement or answer their questions. Which is, here's the thing. Once again, you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to fear. All right? That's going to be a repetitive thing with this whole motherfucker. I notice so many fucking people who are asked questions about what they're protesting at these protests, and 9 times out of 10, they either don't answer or they filibuster. And it's basically, okay, you're showing me you don't know, but on the reality, when you're not fucking talking about what it is, like, people generally need to know. This isn't like a need-to-know basis thing. I feel like people generally need to know, and, you know, so that way they can get a little bit of more understanding about what's being said. It's not an attack on the person that's being questioned. The only way that you're going to get attacked is by not answering. Or actually not knowing what the fuck you're doing there. Okay, you may invoke your Fifth Amendment rights to remain silent. Say, I am exercising my right to remain silent. Actually, I don't even think you need to do that. If you're getting arrested, they tell you, you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you do not have an attorney, one will be provided for you. Do you understand these rights? Your Miranda rights are being read to you as you are being arrested. You can just not say shit. You don't even have to say, I am exercising my right to remain silent. I am invoking the Fifth on this one. You don't have to say that. You can just shut the fuck up. Instead of like screaming that you're innocent or whatever. Okay, in some states you must provide your name to law enforcement if you are stopped and told to identify yourself. But even if you give your name, you don't have to answer other questions. Okay, that's fair. Ask them, am I free to leave? If yes, walk away calmly. Which, I guess that one would make sense, because if you weren't to ask that question and you just walked away, the cops could possibly say that, you were resisting arrest. That makes sense, and I know that that happens. Okay, if they say no, tell them you wish to remain silent and ask for a lawyer immediately. Don't give any explanations or excuses. Don't say anything, sign anything, or make any decisions without a lawyer. Okay, here we go. Do not lie or provide false documents to law enforcement. Lying to federal agents is a crime and can carry severe consequences. No shit. These rights apply regardless of whether law enforcement agency is local, state, or federal. They may also apply to questioning by the National Guard or other military troops. So it's like, okay, why are you fucking worried about all of this shit? Because it's like, once again, if you have nothing to fear, then you have nothing to hide. Or, if you, the other way around. If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to fear. But there was something about okay, this is where I think I was looking at. None of the information found here should be construed as legal advice, and you should consult with an attorney or immigration expert about your situation and circumstances. Okay, so it's like, know your rights if you're confronted by ICE. They were severely worried about whether or not ICE was going to fucking show up and arrest fucking Mexicans, I guess. Nobody else, just the Mexicans. Because that's their thinking process, according to what I'm seeing. And I see this a lot. And this just really shows a high level of ignorance on the part of the left. Stay calm. Okay, cool. You have the right to remain silent and do not have to discuss your immigration or citizenship status with police, immigration agents, or other officials. Anything you tell an officer can later be used against you in immigration court. If you wish to exercise that right, say so out loud. In some states, you may be required to provide your name if asked to identify yourself. Yes. Confirm it's actually ICE. Ask for a badge number, name, and the agency they work for. Record what is happening on your phone or ask a bystander to do it. Adult non-citizens granted a lawful immigration status like a visa or a green card must carry their immigration papers with them at all times. If requested by an immigration agent, they must state their status and show their documentation. Okay. As somebody who is a MAGA supporter, I have to ask this question. Don't you think that's what we're trying to fucking say? If you have a visa or a green card or have gone from lawful immigration to citizenship, no fuss, no muss. That's what we're fucking arguing. We're arguing the same fucking thing. Nobody should ever present false documents or lie to an official about their status. Oh, you mean if somebody is, say, an illegal immigrant and they're parading as if they are a legal immigrant with a visa or a green card or have their fucking status? Doesn't this fucking go against what a lot of the people on the left are arguing at this point? Where it's like, no person is illegal on stolen land, or they might be refugees or whatever the fuck, that they have to go through fucking customs with and all of that other crap. The people that fucking, not just brown people, but also yellow people and white people and black people as well. Red or yellow, black and white, they are jumping the fucking border. And they're coming to the country illegally. If an immigration agent asks if they can search you, you have the right to say no. Agents do not have the right to search you or your belongings without your consent or probable cause. Once again, if you have nothing to fear, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. That is why, if I were to get pulled over by the cops, the cop asks me, "Can you step out of the vehicle, sir?" Yeah, sure, not a problem. I got nothing to hide. Can we search your vehicle for any illegal paraphernalia, drugs, or weapons? Yeah, sure, because I know it's not in there. Go ahead. I have nothing to hide. Now, you might try to, like, people on the left might try to yell at me and try to accuse me of having white privilege. But no, I don't think so at all. I'm a broke Irish guy. You know, on top of that, I don't do drugs. I don't fucking drink. I don't do none of that shit. So even if they were to plant drugs or whatever in my fucking car, go ahead, test my fucking blood. There's no drugs in my system. Haven't smoked pot in fucking years. Haven't drank in years. So there's no drugs, there's no alcohol in my system. Draw my blood. That cop will get in trouble for trying to plant shit on me. And then I can sue the state. Okay, ask them, am I free to leave? If yes, walk away calmly. If it's safe, take notes of the interaction. You have the right to a lawyer. If arrested or detained, say I need to speak with my attorney. But here's the thing. In this specific section, I noticed, and I also noticed a lot of other shit in this entire fucking thing. When it talks about being confronted by ICE, not once did they say anything about immigrants of illegal status. Not once. At all. So basically, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, these motherfuckers are fighting to keep the illegal immigrants in the fucking country. You know, because who else is going to fucking, pick their crops, scrub their toilets, and clean their houses and mow their lawns, according to them. And on top of that, once again, it seems pretty fucking racist, the fact that the only translation of this whole resource guide is in Spanish. Like what? Big, like fucking Bad Bunny fans are going to be the only ones reading this motherfucker? Like, to me, it's like, okay, look, this whole website is a piece of shit. The whole No Kings protest was absolutely fucking useless. Because at the end of the day, Trump is still not a king. Nor is he trying to be a king. And then you keep throwing a lot of these words around like tyrant and dictator and Nazi and fascist and Hitler and all of these other things. And you guys have been, and the people on the left have been doing that for the last 10 fucking years. To a point where the whole goddamn rhetoric has been completely diluted. And none of us fucking care what you say anymore. Nobody on the right gives a shit. You call us all of these fucking things. Here's the thing that I've noticed when it concerns a lot of people on the fucking left. And tell me if you've noticed this too, chat. Lock in on this for a second. Have you ever noticed that a vast majority of these people who vote blue are very fucking depressed and unhappy with their lives? And yet, no matter what, they continue to fucking vote the same fucking people in. They continue to live these sad fucking pathetic lives. And on top of that, they try to claim about how they want no kings, no dictators, no tyrants. But at the same time, they keep voting in these motherfuckers who want to either change the government or make the government control you even more. You ever notice that shit? I've been noticing that a lot of my friends who vote blue are either very depressed, very angry, or a strange combination of the two. And yet they try to fucking blame their anger on other fucking things or other people or people that are on the right and all of this other stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know what your fucking problem is. I really don't. Like, a lot of this stuff that I'm seeing could easily be fixed. Mentally, your mental health could easily be fixed. I went through a 2-year depression after a fucking breakup with one of the best people I've ever been in a relationship with. And I did not need a therapist. I didn't need drugs. I didn't need to soothe myself with alcohol. I didn't have to do any of that shit. I sat in the fucking shit and I survived that. It can be easy enough for somebody else to fucking do that type of shit too. If you're angry about stuff, ask yourself, what makes you so angry about this type of shit? And what can you do to absolve that? And if you can't absolve it, then it means nothing to you. It literally, all you have to do is just take a look at the bigger picture here. Okay? We are a tiny little speck. We are a grain of sand in the entirety of this fucking universe. And do you really think at the end of the day that any of this shit fucking matters? So while you're existing, instead of worrying about the worst things that could possibly happen in your fucking life, or the things that are happening outside of your control, do you and live your best life. That's all you really have to fucking do. The only reason why I point all of this stuff out when it concerns the government and all this other shit, mainly, is because, well, a lot of the people on the blue side are fucking bitching about everything and can't seem to understand a joke. They can't seem to understand nuance. They can't seem to understand that everything is not black and white. They can't seem to understand that not everything has to be fucking this way or that. They can't seem to understand that, God forbid, somebody has a different mindset than you, and while you may disagree, you can still respect it. And that's the way I'm seeing it with a lot of people on the left. Instead, they end up fucking sucking down all of this bullshit that the media ends up telling them about stuff. And instead of formulating their own opinion, they just take it as fact, as absolute. And then it angers them. And it makes them see things in a light that fills them and instills them with fucking fear and anger and panic and chaos. And then before you know it, you're fucking robbing a Target en masse in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Or you're, tearing apart fucking local businesses. Not just, especially in my city, downtown, local businesses. It didn't matter if they were owned by blacks, whites, Mexicans, Asians, Bosnians, all in that downtown area by Rosa Parks Circle that I was mentioning in Grand Rapids, Michigan earlier. There are businesses that are owned and run, local businesses, owned by white people, owned by black people, owned by Mexicans, owned by Koreans, owned by other Asians, owned by fucking Bosnian refugees, which their fucking euros are bomb. When I witnessed that stuff happening during COVID, I was more worried about their businesses being shut down than what was actually fucking going on. You know what I'm saying? Like people setting cop cars on fire with Molotov cocktails, throwing fucking bricks through the windows at the police station. I saw one lady trying to fucking destroy Sunshine Grill, which is a fucking staple here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Like there's a downtown restaurant called Sunshine Grill. It's like a little fucking breakfast nook. And some girl who was going to college outside of Grand Rapids drove all the way back here and got arrested for trying to break out the fucking windows at that restaurant. She's from here and fucking did that shit. Fucking Parsley's Mediterranean Grill, owned by a bunch of Bosnians, ended up fucking getting their windows blew out, and the vast majority of their fucking restaurant was windows. There's like a really good sushi restaurant right up that strip, and a fucking Thai restaurant. I pick up delivery from them all the fucking time. Their restaurants were at risk during all that shit. And you're fucking bitching about whether or not Trump thinks that he's a king when in fact he's not. If I, as I said before, you know, you try to fucking dictate him as Hitler, you try to compare him to Hitler, and yet he's trying to fucking help out with the whole fucking Israel-Hamas war. He's literally trying to free Palestine, and you're bitching about him freeing Palestine. Anybody but Trump should free Palestine, right? And at the same time, trying to fucking help the Jews in Israel to stop that war from happening. The war that's been going on for a very long time. And I'm sure as of right now, the Israelis are fucking exhausted because they've been fucking fighting different fucking people for over 1,000 years. You know, I remember a time like before the Jews in America were getting fucking attacked by other college people and shit like that. I remember a time when everybody was upset at Mel Gibson for drunkenly saying to a cop, the fucking Jews are responsible for all the problems in the world. You guys remember that shit? And now you guys are saying the exact same thing right now. Saying that the Jews are responsible for all the fucking problems in the world. And you're okay with it. Not to mention all the blatant racism that I see with people on the fucking left when they find out that a minority doesn't fucking agree with their political values. Oh my fucking God. They are quick to throw race every which way, negatively, to try to hurt that person because they wore a red shirt. It's fucking astonishing. All right, let's go back to Benny Johnson.
Donald Trump has the chance to do the funniest thing ever for Halloween. He really does. He should just go dressed as a king. Dan Scavino.
Oh, this is funny.
Posting some absolute bangers.
Yeah, this is a banger.
Dan Scavino, the new
Yeah.
personnel head at the White House, has been on President Trump's payroll for decades and is posting this absolute winner of all the Democrats kneeling down to the king. Kneel to your rightful king.
Oh, this is fucking great.
The White House delivering bangers here. Donald Trump and JD wearing crowns, while Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer wears sombreros. JD Vance shared the Donald Trump No Kings video.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, I should probably stop this before I actually get hit with another fucking copyright claim. But yeah, like, dude, is this even AI? Like, I feel like that this is like one of the funniest fucking memes involving this whole No Kings protest. It really shows the seriousness of how a lot of people on the right are actually looking at this shit. Now, if you guys don't remember, this shot right here was taken like because of the whole fucking George Floyd thing. Like, oh my God, this whole fucking thing, even then I clocked it as, man, this is just them pandering to Black Lives Matter.
Hail to the king. Very beautiful. Some other responses from the White House. No cucks.
No cucks.
Oh, yuck. Doug Emhoff and his son.
What?
In California.
Now, I also saw a video that Tom McDonald put out where he was walking around a No Kings protest playing one of his newer bangers. And nobody, oh yeah, no, I think it was like, I don't know, maybe it was an old banger, I don't know. But either which way, it was like, they are too stupid to fucking realize that I'm dissing them. I don't know, go on TikTok, look that up.
Ugh. He has like, just no comment, no comments. That's fine.
No kings.
DOT rapid response posting this, and no queens.
No kings. Instead, it's Chuck Schumer and Jeffries as fucking princesses.
There's the queens. There you go. But Donald Trump, of course, with the #1 banger.
Yeah.
Obviously. The reason why we're talking about this right now is that Donald Trump decided to post a video unlike anything I've ever seen in my life before. Something so glorious and so funny. When he posted it late last night, I was howling with laughter with my wife. I mean, I was wiping tears away from my face with my wife watching President Trump.
Turn on the sound.
In an F-16, right? And he's wearing a crown, and
dropping
he
that
drops sewage from the plane, and the sewage hits all of the No King protesters down. Raw sewage.
Damn. That's a lot of shit. I love this.
It's just one of the most glorious things I've ever seen in my life. It deserves to be played on repeat, hopefully at the next presidential inauguration.
Right.
It's called a meme. It's funny. White House rapid response is laughing. So are various people on the internet, like myself.
Yep.
And the people who really like the fighter jet with King Trump dumping, some are saying.
To the song Danger Zone, by the way. I mean, he's got it muted here, but it's still, like, Highway to the Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins is playing during that fucking clip.
Saying it's mud. Some are saying poop.
It is poop.
I say raw sewage. There are other
and it's like, they're all saying, pulse check on Harry Sisson, drop shit on Harry Sisson,
naughty words that you could describe. Pulse check on Harry Sisson. How's Harry Sisson doing? He's sitting there in the video.
There you go,
getting,
shithead.
Sewage dropped on him by Trump. Trump video of himself as a king dropping poop on Harry Sisson.
Yep.
Dropping poop on AI. Trump post wild AI video showing him flying a fighter jet, dropping sewage on the No King protesters.
And the very front one is also Harry Sisson covered in shit.
Hillary Clinton losing it. He's definitely not mad that 7 million Americans came out to protest him yesterday.
Okay, so here's another fucking factoid of math. Okay, 7 million Americans came out to protest him yesterday. Okay, that's fine and dandy, Hillary Clinton. How many people voted for Kamala Harris? About 70 million? Versus how many fucking people voted for Trump? Which Trump won the popular vote. He won the fucking White House. Republicans won the Senate. They won the House of Representatives. Full fucking scale, full throttle, MAGA motherfucker. And you were only able to get 10%. Once again, 10%. And on top of that, take a look at the amount of people that did not vote. Out of the 330 million Americans that live here in this country, versus how many people voted in general, versus how many people voted Democratic, versus how many people voted, or not even voted, attended the No Kings protest, versus how many people on average was at each one. 7 million Americans out of 330 Americans that live in this country. And that's just a fucking blip in general. So, at the end of the day, you have to ask the question, what did this do? Other than go from 7% of the people who voted for Kamala Harris to 10%. wow, an entire 3% increase, assuming my math's not 100% accurate on this one, I'm just fucking guesstimating. So, what is that supposed to say? That you flipped 2-3 million fucking people since the last No King protest that happened in what, June? Are you trying to tell me that you flipped that many fucking people, fam? Once again, it's still just a fucking blip. That's not really that fucking big. Like, you look at 7 million, probably the same way that you would look at 7 million people, or $7 million. $7 million is big to an individual person. But then you get 7 million Americans. Once again, it sounds like a big number. It would make sense if 7 million Americans came out to protest him in one spot. Because 7 million Americans in one spot, as opposed to stretching that out across 2,700 different locations, at the end of the day, it doesn't really look all that big. If anything, that would make it look small. And on top of that, I would probably assume that more Americans came to protest the FBI for the Juggalo March than people came to D.C. to fucking protest Trump. And just D.C.
Trump won the popular vote, lady.
Yeah.
And all 7 swing states, so don't really care.
Boom. Oh, here's Harry Sisson herself. Can a reporter please ask Trump why he posted an AI video of himself dropping poop on me from a fighter jet? That would be great. Thanks. Oh, God. The fucking replies to that tweet is just fire shit.
Can a reporter please ask Trump why he posted an AI video of himself dropping poop on me from a fighter jet? That'd be great. He's part of the meme, Harry Sisson, because it's hilarious, little bruh.
Right. The video was real. We all know it.
That's right. The video is real. We all know it. Want me to ask him? Come on. It's better than this.
You got shit on.
It's funny.
Because you're gay. Like, dude is such a fucking twink. Because he's the greatest president of all time.
Funny. It is. That's why.
Yeah.
We do it because it's funny.
There you go. Celebrating the fact that I don't have a British accent with a charbroiled Whopper from Burger King. Boom. So yeah, basically, at the end of the day, I would say, what does this protest do? Other than give a bunch of geriatric fucks and a bunch of people with too much free time on their hands something to do. At the end of the day, does it do anything? Somebody ended up holding a sign in one of those protests that said, impeach Trump again. What, for the 3rd time? I mean, how many times can that motherfucker prove that he's practically unimpeachable? He has found the fucking Konami code to getting impeached. What's impeaching Trump going to fucking do? And for what? What are you going to impeach him for? He hasn't broken the law. If anything, he's doing everything that he's doing is well within his presidential powers. And if there was something that he was trying to do that was outside of his presidential abilities, he would have to go to the Senate in order to fucking do that. They're like, in this country, there is a balance of power between 3 branches of legislature. Like, there's 3 branches here. You got the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. And judicial is one of those words that nobody can say without sounding drunk. And they all work in conjunction with each other. Not one is supposed to have more power over the other. And the ones that are bitching about what Trump is doing the most are the people in the fucking legislative branch. And why? Because they're the ones that are fucking swindling this country with all of this bullshit that they try to fucking throw, like PAC money, you know, like donations and all of these other things. The same reason why there's a government shutdown right now, because they seem to not like the fact that they're getting rid of they're getting rid of all of these fucking funds, like circumcisions in Zimbabwe or whatever. And they don't like that. So they're going to keep the fucking shutdown going until they get all that money back. So that way they can fucking give it to their fucking rich friends and steal from the American people, while simultaneously trying to show how much they care about the American people. They don't care about the American people. Let's just be realistic here. All right, so let's do one more video, and I found this to be an interesting video. It has nothing to do with politics. Politics is done. I talked about what I wanted to talk about, made fun of the No Kings protest like I wanted, because it's useless. And a lot of people are too dumb to fucking see that shit. And while I'm at it, once again, settle down, people. I seriously think that there is a lot of negative energy on this planet. And all you have to do is just flip that script. That's the main reason why everybody's so upset and depressed and scared and panicky and stupid, is because they're all focused on all that negative energy. Flip that script. Like, literally, I'm a very happy man. I am at peace with where I'm at right now, which is why stupid shit like what Big Will posted in my fucking live chat does nothing. And I've been able to ignore it this entire time. By the way, thanks for still being a fan. Anyways, continuing along. So, let's talk more about video games. You saw like a fragment of a second of what I wanted to show. So, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I ended up posting a video where it showed like the video games, or video game consoles, and which ones sold the most up to May of 2025. So we're gonna watch a similar video that is basically now the best-selling video games. We're gonna take a look at that.
The gaming industry has gone.
All right, now right off the rip, you see Space Invaders just dominating shit, right? Now this is like at the very beginning of the video game console industry. So you or maybe it might even also include the arcade ports, or the actual arcade games. I don't fucking know. But a lot of these games right here are just fucking Atari games. And you can tell, Atari Bowling, Circus Atari, which Circus Atari is actually fun. Space Invaders, also a fun game. But this looks like it's just a bunch of 2600 video games.
Stick around, because this is the entire history of video game sales.
Okay, there's Asteroids. See, right down there you're seeing Circus Atari. Pac-Man came out and it just exploded. Because there was a lot of hype to Pac-Man being on the 2600. And and if I'm correct, while the fucking licensing rights to Pac-Man was being determined for Atari 2600, a whole bunch of other systems came out with their own versions of Pac-Man or different ports, like Ladybug for the ColecoVision is a prime example of that. You can tell it has the fucking thumbprint of Pac-Man in that game. But then you also have the early sports games. So you got Video Olympics, Atari Football, Atari Bowling. Circus Atari is dropping down. Asteroids is going nowhere. Space Invaders is almost at 2 million units.
Both the Atari 2600 and the
Warlords came out. Look at all of these other ones. Now you got Defender. Even E.T. beat the 2600 version of Pac-Man. E.T. And we all know the fucking lore behind that fucking game. Warlords, Berserk. The Donkey Kong is coming into play. And for some reason they're showing the Donkey Kong Country logo with this one. But here comes another one, which is another fun game, which was Frogger. Asteroids is still fucking going up, and Defender is now outdoing Space Invaders. What the shit? Even E.T. fucking got past that. Donkey Kong is coming up real fast. Damn, dude, Donkey Kong was fucking killing it. Pitfall comes into play. Even Pitfall beats Pac-Man. Pac-Man just hit 1 million. But you see Breakout, which was another fun game. Yep. Look at that shit. Oh, here comes Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers is fucking killing it, so now Nintendo is holding up 2. Centipede comes into play. Centipede, one of my favorite fucking arcade games. But yeah, like, Mario Brothers Arcade came out and just, like, shot to the moon and then just died at 4 million. Meanwhile, the original Donkey Kong is still fucking killing it. And now Duck Hunt comes out. Duck Hunt being one of the games for fucking... What up, Teasy? Duck Hunt for the regular Nintendo. So now we're in 1985, and now Nintendo games are about to come in. You've got Donkey Kong, even the American port of that. Mario Brothers Arcade comes out. Space Invaders fucking kicks its ass. Frogger kicks its ass. Look at that. Duck Hunt is starting to fucking climb up the ranks. Nintendo is starting to fucking take over. Now you got Super Mario Brothers that just comes out of fucking left field and brrrr. Look at that. Mario Brothers is killing it. Now I believe Mario Brothers, Mario 2 or Lost Levels. No, this one up here is Super Mario Brothers. Then you've got Mario Brothers Arcade, which is a different game, Wes. Legend of Zelda is kicking in now. You got Pro Baseball Family Stadium, which was RBI Baseball. That game was actually through fucking Tengen. Miss Pac-Man came in. Now Pac-Man is starting to grow again because of the NES port. Legend of Zelda is kicking in. And you've got a lot of these popular 2600 games that are disappearing. Dragon Quest II fucking comes out. Look at that. Look at how big Mario Brothers is fucking killing it. Dragon Quest III comes out. Here comes Zelda 2, which I don't feel like should have been that popular. There's Mario 2. So Mario 2 comes out. This is the Mario 2 for the America. It's not Lost Levels. This is Mario 2. This is Mario Brothers USA. And then you got Mario 3 coming in right here, and it's coming in. But Super Mario Brothers still is fucking growing hot and fast because it was a pack-in title for the regular Nintendo. So whenever there was a unit that sold, for the most part, Mario Brothers was kicking it as well. So yeah, Mario 2, there's Super Mario Land, and Tetris Classic, which Tetris Classic was the fucking Nintendo version, not the Tengen version, and it may or may not include the pack-in title with the Game Boy. But Super Mario Land also came in hot, which is interesting. So now it's surpassed The Legend of Zelda. Here's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that came in. Dr. Mario just popped up. But look at that. Super Mario Brothers is still fucking killing it, but Duck Hunt is also in second place. And part of the reason why that is, I believe, is because Mario and Duck Hunt were both collectively pack-in titles, not just separate games. And I know that because I have Mario and Duck Hunt as separate games. I also have the Mario Duck Hunt World Class Track Meet combo. And I believe I also have Mario and Duck Hunt by itself. So I think whenever one of those units sold, that would also count as a number for both Mario and Duck Hunt. And so for the longest time, Mario and Duck Hunt were always pack-in titles together. Now Tetris came in hot too, and Tetris, as we all know, is fucking addicting. And there's Mario on the screen. And there's Super Mario World coming in. Look at this shit. Street Fighter 2 for the Super Nintendo. So Super Nintendo games are starting to come in. And eventually, I would think Sonic the Hedgehog is going to have to come in as well. Pitfall, yep, there's Sonic 2. Sonic 2 came in hot and then just died after 5 million units. Meanwhile, you still even got games like Frogger still kicking it. You know, Frogger's kicking it. Donkey Kong was on the Atari 2600, the 5200, and the regular Nintendo at some point. But Mario Brothers being only on the regular Nintendo, and it's already at 44 million. Lemmings, I believe that was just a computer game. Street Fighter 2 actually got more out of it than fucking Super Mario World. Wow. Pac-Man is still fucking growing. So Pac-Man has been on a lot of different systems. So Pac-Man as a title by itself is still viable. And then the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game only lasted so long.
Nintendo released a follow-up console, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This console
but you would think eventually The Legend of Zelda is going to fucking kick in as well.
On a home console before, while the SNES did not sell.
So yeah, and then Tetris also has another growth spurt.
Its flagship game still sold over 20 million copies during its run.
Yep, Tetris is still fucking growing. Super Mario Brothers finally stopped at 58 million. Here comes Pokemon to fucking just race up. And that's 4 different versions of Pokemon. Because you had red and I think it was red and green in Japan, and then you had red and blue in America and all the other places across the world, and then yellow was the special Pikachu edition. So yeah, and Tetris is still fucking killing it. Frogger finally stopped. Duck Hunt fucking stopped because Nintendo stopped selling, so a lot of those games... Oh, wait a minute. Super Mario Brothers grew a little bit, 58.02 million. There's the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Super Mario 2 stopped in sales. Pac-Man is still, but slowly but surely growing. Now look, Tetris and Pokemon are head-to-head. Up, Gran Turismo came into play. Lemmings is still going. Super Mario Land is still going. Tetris just beat Duck Hunt. Super Mario 64 just came into play. Now, Gran Turismo, I believe, was for the PlayStation. And then you got Mario 64. Popular fucking title. Everybody loves that. Space Invaders is gone. Oh, here comes Pokemon Silver and Gold. And Crystal, I believe. So while that's growing up fast, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green are slowing down. Now, I would assume that sales for Red, Blue, and Yellow in America and Green in Japan were fucking slowly dying off, but games like Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2 also helped with the sales of Gold and Silver because you could play those games on that, but you also had the Super Game Boy, so you could play those games on a Super Nintendo. And Super Mario Brothers has come to a slow crawl, but Tetris is still fucking in the game, and holy shit is it going. But Tetris has been on all sorts of systems. Have to think a lot of those Tetris sales are because of the Game Boy pack-in title. Well, it was the pack-in title, it being on Nintendo, and every other system since the Tetris company owned it. So yeah, you've got Super Mario 64 as a slow crawl, but it's still fucking coming in. Pokemon Gold and Silver are growing about the same speed as Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green and Yellow. Tetris finally stopped at 4 million. This is a super slow fucking crawl. This is a slow crawl. Pokemon Gold and Silver are still growing. Up, here comes The Sims, and The Sims should blow the fuck up. Because The Sims was a popular computer game, and also was ported to different systems. But to my surprise, Tetris did not beat Super Mario Brothers. But The Sims also had a bunch of pack-in titles. So yeah, there's The Sims right there that they're showing the commercial for it. Okay, so Pokemon did beat Duck Hunt. I'm surprised that Duck Hunt was actually that fucking popular. But then again, the light gun, you know what I'm saying? Super Mario 3 is having another fucking run.
In the year 2000, they released The Sims for PC.
And Pac-Man's having another run. Now Pac-Man's fucking killing it. Because Pac-Man had another boost because of ports, right? So it's a franchise. It's the same reason why, here's Gran Turismo 3. So Pac-Man's having another resurgence. Donkey Kong is having another small resurgence. Mario 3 is having another small resurgence. And it's tied with Pokemon Gold and Silver. Now, I would assume as much that the reason why Mario 3 had another jump is because by 2004, the Game Boy Advance had come out, and Super Mario Advance 4, which was Super Mario Bros. 3, came out. The Sims is fucking getting up there. I'm surprised Lemmings didn't go nowhere. But here we are. We're at 2005 now. Up San Andreas. Hot Coffee mod on its way back up. So yeah, now look, Pac-Man is having another fucking resurgence. There's The Sims 2. San Andreas is growing fast. Super Mario World is coming back, and I believe that's also because of the Super Mario Advance games that came out on the Game Boy Advance. Yep. San Andreas did have a slow beginning because of the Hot Coffee mod and the Jack Thompson bullshit that happened. Street Fighter 2 is having another small surge. Pac-Man's got another small surge. Here we go. This is when Tetris was in cross promotion with EA. Now it's exploding. Because this is when Alexei Pajitnov got to have the rights to Tetris, the very same game that he created. So now that 48 million copies of Tetris Classic and Tetris for the Game Boy, and that was it. 48 million units between those two systems. And that was when Elorg in Russia, or the USSR at the time, owned the rights to Tetris because Alexei Pajitnov made it during company time when he was working for the USSR government. Now he owns the rights to Tetris and does a pairing with EA, and it just fucking explodes in 2007. He's about to beat himself. And San Andreas is about to fucking go up. There's Nintendogs. Now we're in the... Yep. So now they're talking about iPhone games and shit like that. Nintendogs for the DS just came into the fucking play. Tetris is beating itself now.
Well, the iPhone wasn't quite the market killer that gaming journalists said it would be.
Wii Sports, which was the pack-in title for the Wii, Tetris just beat Super Mario Brothers. And just fucking killing the game. Wii Sports also coming in hot. Yep. Nintendogs just beat Donkey Kong. Wii Sports is also about to beat Tetris. Damn, dude. Pac-Man. I love the fact that Pac-Man died and then had a fucking resurgence. And it got back up into the top 10. Mario Kart Wii. Now, there's no denying that Mario Kart is a fun game. But it looks like, okay, this was a smartphone game, and that's the reason why Tetris, the EA version of Tetris, has got 100 million sales now. It's easy to fucking bank those numbers when you have a freeware fucking game like that. So Wii Fit Plus. Up here comes Super Mario Brothers DS. So we've got DS and 3DS games coming in now. Mario Kart Wii past Duck Hunt. San Andreas. San Andreas has been going on this whole fucking time and is up. Oh damn, dude, the San Andreas number is dropping. What the hell? Is that because the game got recalled? Why is San Andreas fucking dropping? San Andreas is fucking shrinking. What the hell's going on? What the fuck? Okay, Wii Sports Resort. How many Wii Sports games are out there? Okay, and now San Andreas is going to have another slow build. And Super Mario World stopped. Super Mario Brothers stopped. Tetris stopped. EA Tetris stopped. Wii Sports is still fucking climbing. Wii Fit Plus is climbing. Mario Kart Wii is climbing. Super Mario Brothers Wii is climbing. And that also was helpful with having Super Luigi Bros on the fucking Wii as well. Up, here comes Minecraft. Minecraft has entered the chat. And it's about to decimate a whole bunch of other shit. Wii Sports finally fucking stopped. Up, GTA 5. And this is kind of unfair in the sense that GTA 5 has been on the PS3, the PS4, and the PS5.
15 years ago, in 2009.
So it's going to have a big boost, and then it's going to stop, and then it's going to fucking grow again. But Pac-Man is fucking coming down. But Minecraft just beat Tetris, GTA 5 just beat Tetris, and those are the two heavy-hitting games right now. But Minecraft has been around for a while as well. And you would think Harvest Moon would be somewhere on here because of how many different versions of Harvest Moon. Diablo 3 just entered the chat. Up. Okay, CSGO. What the fuck is that? Minecraft just beat Wii Sports. GTA 5 is about to beat Wii Sports as well. And Diablo's crawling up there. CSGO is fucking crawling up there. Wow.
Selling over 60 million units within the first week of
okay.
Just for some context, 11 years
Minecraft just beat Tetris. I thought Tetris is going to be the most popular fucking video game title for a while, honestly. Okay, here comes Skyrim. Skyrim being another one of those games that fucking came out on 3 different fucking systems and cross-platform. Overwatch is another one. Okay, Pokemon's coming back. Yeah, because Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow ended up being re-released a couple of times. There's PUBG. Okay, so yeah, Counter-Strike and PUBG. I'm surprised. I'm so fucking shocked that Pokemon, like Gen 1 Pokemon came back. But like Gen 1 Pokemon was on the Game Boy, was on the Game Boy Advance, and then it was also digital downloadable on the fucking 3DS. And I believe there was like some other integrations of Pokemon Gen 1. But Gen 2 also fucking kicked it too. They did the same fucking thing. Now, watch. Fucking Fortnite's gonna show up out of nowhere. But look at this. Minecraft and GTA 5 still fucking kicking it. Pac-Man is about to leave the chat. Diablo is at a slow crawl. Yep, there's Elder Scrolls 5. Yep, so there's Skyrim at almost 46 million. Personally, How's CPN doing these days? He's good. See, I don't feel like Battlegrounds should have been on there because it was a free downloadable game. Like, that's a good way to cheat numbers. Okay, now Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow has stopped again. Mario Kart 8. That was another good one. Eventually, we're going to have to fucking come across a Super Smash Brothers game. Because Super Smash Brothers Ultimate was a pretty good seller. But yeah, Tetris Classic is almost done with, bro. So Skyrim. Okay, Terraria. I don't even know that was a popular game. Okay, there's Red Dead Redemption. So yeah, we're in the PS4, PS5 era of gaming and some of these more popular fucking games. There's The Witcher. But yeah, like GTA 5 is still fucking going with almost 200 million. Fucking Minecraft has almost 300 million. This is one of the main reasons why I never really played Minecraft, because it's too fucking popular for me to want to give a fuck. Now Red Dead Redemption got a big boost. Mario Kart 8 is slowing down a little bit. Human, wow, that's another game I never really heard of. Red Dead Redemption, though, yes, I have. And then it fucking had a boom, and then it stopped at 50 million. Like, really? Seriously? What the fuck? Wow. That version of Tetris is almost dead. But that's where we're at. By 2004, or 2024, that's where they were at. That's interesting to fucking see that shit. That kind of growth in the video game market industry. I did not think for a second that it was going to be Minecraft that was going to dominate that shit. I honestly would have been on the understanding that Tetris has been the best-selling game of all time. But then fucking Minecraft came in and decimated the shit. But then again, with a lot of the DLC packs that it's got and a lot of different things that you can do in Minecraft, it's basically a sandbox as fuck. And Grand Theft Auto 5 kicking it in high gear the way that it did. But then again, like I said before, these are these are video game systems that have, these are video games that have been on multiple systems for 3 video gaming generations. From the PS3, PS4, PS5, it's still fucking going. People are still downloading Grand Theft Auto 5. And then you also have the people who buy multiple copies of it, kind of like how I do with the Final Fantasy games, specifically Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've got 2 different physical copies of that, and I downloaded it digitally on the PS4. So, that type shit. But all right, I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys for coming in, watching, participating up in the chat, keeping myself entertained as well as me keeping you entertained. All right, I will be back next week. And after that, it's fucking Hollow Wicked. So I hope to see some of y'all there. Until next time, I'm out this bitch. Deuces.